zone, utilizing that exact moment. Grav Cannon also being invested here for Fantajin, and it is all gone completely awry. Q9, nowhere to be found. Every single attempt for a pinch is coming absolutely dry, and you have everybody teeing off for Scars at this moment in time, over 200 points.
You have to start hitting all this scrap time now if you're Q9. You can't just let it go away freely. Not with this gap, not with how Scars have looked, especially playing around the first hard point. So here comes last attempt, and it's shut down from the backside. Again, the spawners coming up from Scars just too good. Getting the guns up, it's going to be 220 to 151. Q9 starting to feel a little down bad. Need to put something together here as we rotate back to P1.
And certain people ended up turning up again through that second set of hard points. I mean, Cashmaster was definitely nowhere closer to 31 kills, but that's exactly where they find themselves. You also have resources. Mike calling in the Predator missile, only gets information, can't find the kills inside, but it does mean that they can still commit towards the Snowpath flank and try to help out their comrades here at P1.
You have to stay calm here if you're Scars. If things start to get out of hand, you are at such a steep advantage. You don't necessarily have to win right here. Just keep it to your name. Scars looking good from the high ground. Fantajin, 32 kills for him. And it's up to 230, but Q9 once more. Purifiers, shotguns, SMGs, all keeping them in this game as they get to 170.
2 streaks in the back pocket for Mike. And that's exactly what you were talking about, Alan. You don't have to win it here. 232 to 176. It's going to get them closer to 200 points with Q9. Not exactly in a good position to try to get closer towards P2. You can see how they're manipulating the map as well, making sure that they're keeping Glass and the Catwalk in their favor, but you still have players like Mike who's trying to be a nuisance in the backline.
4 seconds of scrap. Island, KRM out, trying to chase down some Scars members, finds one into the corner. If you can get this thing up top, this would be huge for the side of Q9, and yeah, the kills come through quickly. Hardpoint just about to open. Island, he's trying to put the style points on, but Scars denies as Fishbone gets the trade, but he's the only one standing. Just trying to force Q9 to come to him. But the numbers just are not all that great. Look at the kill feed. Q9 find themselves in a very favorable position. Hamster's going to force the play forward, only gets one, and Q9 will stabilize.
Oh, good pick up there from D-Chen to make sure that the flank was fully secure, because you ended up getting Fishbone that actually spawned in on the backside of Blue. So now the hard point is contested. Numbers are here for Scars. They're trying to overwhelm Q9 at the front door. They can close it out here. 5 seconds required.
This is tough scenes right now for Q9. Have to find a way to break. Cut down the rotation, and then also get to do. Can they even touch in time? No, no contest. And it's Scars, the sole Japanese representative that strike first. Maybe we slept on them a little bit too hard too, because that was pretty clean.
You know, it's funny because this is, for me personally, this is what I did expect. Because I hate to sound like a broken record here, Alan, but you got to go back and you have to look at their very close matchup versus Influence Kemen. The biggest difference in between that matchup and here is that Influence Kemen completely outslayed them. You almost had 2 individuals on that matchup alone, not on Scars, drop in almost 50 bomb at certain points in time. It's very reminiscent here. You can see Uling, 37 and 31, 37 and 33 for Tang. But the difference maker going through the second set of hard points were certain individuals absolutely popping off. And it set up Mike continuously to find value on the flanks and get behind enemy lines. It felt like that Q9 really didn't have their feet underneath them through the second set.
4 players on Scars, over a minute worth of hard point time. That is some selfless COD Mobile gameplay right there. Love to see it. And that's something that, hey, you want to draw a comparison and get a little wonky and wild with it. The last time we said that about a team, we said it about Tribe. Woo. Do we dare draw that comparison?
Take it easy. Take it easy.
Hacienda Search and Destroy, though, coming up. Also, update. How about this? Skate 250-190 over Team Almighty in map number 1 in their series. And I'll tell you, dude, if they shut down Team Almighty twice, boy, have they earned playoffs.
Do you know the map?
I don't know.
Oh, okay. I mean, that rematch, like, honestly, just keeping my head on a swivel, trying to look at it continuously. But yeah, I mean, you have immediate turnaround to maybe try to learn what you did wrong if you're Almighty, to try to maybe win that map 5 one more time around. And look, the same thing could be said about Q9 and any one of their search and destroys throughout the entirety of the day. This is search and destroy as a game mode. Keep in mind, I know it was a long time ago for you all watching at home. Thank you for staying with us. Is that the search and destroy on firing range was very good for Q9. Why? Is because their adaptations were at an all-time high. This is what we expect out of the Chinese region.
Yeah, 100%. We had actually a really good moment to kind of break down some of the interactions that they were starting to find and how they were reading Tribe really nicely in that opening winners round 1 matchup. So for Scars, hey, you're going to be feeling good. That's a really great win for you in the opening hardpoint. But how do you bounce into a search and destroy against a squad that has looked as dominant as they have in the mode? Especially considering it's Hacienda, where, hey, you kind of expect those long-range lanes to be kind of the biggest point of contest. And if you're relying on these SMGs to get up close and personal, you better hope for some COD timing or some good utility usage if you're trying to threaten some of these places that are in the interiors of Hacienda.
You know, if you didn't end up watching BO4 Search and Destroy in Hacienda, I'm sorry, you missed an absolute banger of a title. But regardless, is that your teammates, especially over the top, if you're trying to hit over towards the fence line, do need to be on point. You can really catch a lot of people off guard, and typically what is on the other side of that fence line could be a couple snipers, and shutting down at least one sniper on the map for either one of these teams could be the payoff to be able to win a round.
Yeah, I think the biggest players that I'm looking at, if we were to really like assign a name, I'm actually going to go opposite of the sniper conversation just because of how good Tang and Dam were for Q9 on those retakes.
Yeah.
And to be fair, like a lot of that was enabled because they were being watched over by other sniper rifles or long-range ARs or SKSs, but those guys were the enzymes to break down what those offensive looks looked like. So here we go. Hacienda search and destroy. What are we going to get this time out of potentially Scars, who are again kind of peeling our eyes wide open? Scars going to mostly focus over the middle of the map. This is usually something we see if you're trying to get into office. And would you look at Rio? He's going to get Island for free. Does. And now a huge threat is in the middle of the map that Q9 need to deal with.
Ooh, the Peacekeeper will be traded out, at least for Cashmaster. Here we currently sit at least in a 4v3, and the battle from up top in the hallways is just about everything, isn't it? I mean, Q9, they were up there, and with the bomb being dropped just outside of the spiral staircase, that means that these last few players for Fontagen and Fishbone completely isolated from one another.
Tough scenes right here for Fishbone. At least he's got the bomb to work with. You can chip away at a kill or two, maybe. We'll start to feel a little more frisky about it. There's a commotion going on in the background, and it looked like NYSLM just got beat up.
100-point club by Salmon on the map.
250-92, is that what I saw?
Yeah, something like that. It was either a 9 or an 8.
Yeah, this is cutthroat time. This is making it as one of the last 4 teams in towards Saturday. Fishbone now has to go, and as he does, he's shut down. Okay, clean.
I mean, Q9, again, just as traditional as Hacienda Search and Destroy really is, it's all about that top hallway control. Once you immediately find out which player is starting to instigate that first blood in the middle of the map, you shut them down, you make numbers yours, and then you just hold the line expecting the offense to make the move going forward. So another offensive round here coming through from Scars. Looking like, again, just trying to jostle for position over by that rock face is the majority where their numbers are.
Island's playing really far forward with this scope. He's going to get pushed off. He's the only defender here at B, by the way.
He's on an island.
It sure is. Fontagen, timing. Whoa. Shots going awry for both players. The longest 1v1 in COD Mobile history right here. How? Somebody hit a shot, please. There it is. Finally able to get involved. Island was feeling really frisky about that challenge, but this causes a huge problem for the defense, who now are empty of any sort of defense towards B.
You do have numbers if you are Scars. Now, it doesn't necessarily mean that you can comfortably get over towards B. They do have 2 players over here, but that's what you got to be worried about. D-Chen had to highlight them. Very, very good on as far as adaptations are concerned. And Fishbone has not moved. Almost expecting maybe someone to push through arches, but not going to be getting anything. Almost everybody else for your team is starting to rotate over towards B.
Yeah, Fontagen's trying to feel things out up top. This is with the scope. If he can just lock down this lane right here, that's beaut. You would love this. Bomb's starting to rotate. Looks like the call's coming through. You see Wuling just right below. He's not going to have an eye on any of this. So it should be a free plant. So Scars' setup is going to be mostly point of contact off of Fontagen, and then you've got a flank watcher and Mick. Everything else is just responding to wherever the reactions have to come from.
To a 1 player inside of the boathouse. That is Wuling. Does have a sniper of their own. This is a really tough angle to try to watch, especially by yourself. Now the information's going to be mutual. Bomb is planted.
Wuling actually gets tagged back. Fishbone's still just holding right on top of the bomb site. Trophy will help keep him safe. Mick good to shut down another. Here comes the play off the flank. Mick ready for it. Yeah, well done. No problems there whatsoever. That's great patience executed to perfection out of Scars. Love the setup.
Yeah, I mean, when you're thinking about it, you have so much time in these search and destroy rounds. You really just want to try to manipulate it as much fixtures as possible. Nice shot coming through from Wuling. Want to take down at least 1 player, but you do not have time on your side. It would have to be a monumental, just massive highlight reel, but Mick will be right there. Slide Chow will take them down. And yeah, I agree fully. I mean, you got that first blood, and then you just saw the entire map just come to a standstill. And even when Q9 got that trade, Scars' idea and understanding was, hey, you're probably going to want to try to push to find more information. That's exactly what ended up happening, and numbers continue to stay in their favor. And
outside of the round, like, this is going to sound like super deep and analytical, but Scars learned a lot about what Q9 is not doing on defense.
Yeah.
Fonagen pulled a sniper rifle into deep halls. You don't normally expect that. Ryu down low. Ooh, difficult gunfight, but still walks away with the first. Countered immediately by Island, and in the mix of all that, Q9 still tallied another 2 eliminations, so significant advantages here for the defense as the bomb is a little bit stuck over towards fences, trying to commit towards A.
Yeah, 2v4 down towards that mid-arch. I might actually be able to find at least one. Uling is just on the other side. You see with the X-ray clears it to the left. Almost had the snap for the second, though. Catchmaster will end up going down. Mick, for the 1v multiple situation, ends up finding 2. Now 1v1.
Backside fences, does he predict this?
Bomb spotted.
Everything resets. Ruan. Whoa. The timing. Mick didn't pick up the bomb.
No, he didn't.
He's going to try for the full wrap. This is bold, but it could work out great because Ruan is not 100% sure about it, and Mick clutches it up. How about it? Little 1v3 action for Scars.
1v3 with 2 quick scopes along with picking up the Peacekeeper and then getting the read. You even saw right there too, I don't know, maybe Mick thought that they ended up scooping the bomb, but was not the case at all. Wonderfully done there for Mick. Be able to keep Scars going throughout the entirety of this. We're going to be setting ourselves up here for yet another offensive round. And again, sniper rifle in hand of Mick. Just seeing if anybody pushes through hallways, and Q9 might be obliged to give him that chow.
They very well may. Fonagen was looking over towards water, having a little bit of a tough time getting back onto dry land. Pretend like we didn't see that. One of these days. There you go. Don't skip leg day, friends. And first blood does come through the middle of the map. Tank falling is actually pretty problematic here. Q9 doesn't really have the ability, you would think, to push much further forward. You kind of have to split this, you would say, but Dichen's going to force the gunfight. Keeps his life, sees a little bit of intel, but largely no harm, no foul. Rayo down low. Oh, big gunfight win. Has to be alive with a sneeze worth of health. And now it's 5v3.
5v3, and look at how Scars have all grouped back up as a 5-player squad. They are about to bull rush over towards the A-bomb. At least the 3 players are here for Q9.
Tons of nades still, though, for Q9. They're going to find some value. They're actually going to get forward. Ruan can blow this play wide open. A lot of players on the run. Gets one, the second gets collided over. And Scars just gets stuck. So much utility was saved for Q9. And in a 3v5, they push back Scars, who now are turning tail and running.
Trying to at least reposition themselves. It looks like that they might want to try to go through the bottom side of the map entirely, but Ron has actually taken a forward approach to put themselves in case they do go down there, but it's a split hallway decision coming through here for Scars, trying to get behind enemy lines, and I don't think Q9 are aware.
This is bold. Q9's going to push through the map, and there's not going to be a response here. Look at what this setup is. They're going to set this up for watch it through office. This is some old school optic stuff where you flip the map around, plan on the backside of B and just clutch it up based on Rio's position. And Q9, they're taking so much time looking for a lurker, they're never gonna read this player up top in office.
No, they're not. That means that Fishbone can continuously just be a nuisance just around the water side. Uling has some help here as well from Ruan. They're going to chow through this door, and they have no idea where anybody is. Fishbone's just in the back, exhausting time.
Ryu has been seen, though. Fishbone comes back to make sure no one's on the defuse. Ryu now just has to keep his life for a couple extra seconds. Turns, finds Island. What a play from Scars.
I mean, that is just a deep cut for how long that specific play has honestly been in the Hacienda. I mean, BO4 came out years ago.
Yeah.
And it's just, again, very, very refreshing to be able to see that slight adaptation come all the way through as Scars really putting Q9 on the back burner here. In that mode combination, we thought they'd be better at.
Great offensive start from Scars. And Q9's defense, they need to find a default right now. They are a little all over the place. Sniper battle, not going to result into too much, but Fonagen does get some good intel that, yes, they are indeed scoping from backside patio. Don't want to peek that. But Scars taking their time once again, and I love the discipline. Get a read, get a feel, maybe try to catch Dichen out in a rotation. Uling for first blood. Mick just gets caught looking the wrong direction. And this time, the measured aggression from Q9 works out flawlessly.
Rio and Fishbone just very isolated from one another. I mean, if you're Rio, essentially, you're going to try to move your way across that water. You can get behind enemy lines, but the timing's not going to be there, much less to be able to find the eliminations or convey that information to your teammate who's working their way after with Lambo.
Yeah, Fishbone's going to have to essentially pull off a solo mission, but look at the attention that Rio's been able to pull. If he could just find one kill, could work out, but alas, it's not come through. Could it be our first 1v5 at World Champs? No. No, it will not.
I appreciate the offer and attempt to try to speak it into existence, but yeah, Q9 finally, you know, it's one of those things, again, you know, the opening 10-15 seconds, comparatively to where they were the first defensive round, is they were throwing a lot of utility, getting absolutely no information. So now they're holding on to them a little bit later, but making sure that in the upper hallways, they're not splitting it, they're making sure that at least two players try to chow the same hallway, so in case they need the trade.
Okay, final offensive round. Trophy system will go down towards A. If there's any advanced utility thrown from Q9, they're not going to be able to get any intel reads off of this. And Ryu has been down at fire almost every single round, but this time he's not cutting back towards B. He's trying to get up to office. And he gets caught. Uling, perfect timing. Good first blood. On top of that, Island able to follow up behind that. Great numbers here for Q9 as the defense is really starting to come to life, and I like this. It's a 5v3. Let's just wolf pack it, play for trades.
Yep. That's all you really need to do. These adaptations for Q9 is we'll put them on the board versus Tribe, and it's looking like they're clawing their way back here versus Scars. Two players left alive here, Fishbone, Ashmaster, just very, very isolated from one another, and it's the smart reason for Fishbone to, you know, have the spidey sense tingling continuously, making sure that you're constantly checking your back because well, Q9 are on your heels.
Cash is pretty far forward, though. If you could find this player lurking in 10, maybe there's a chance to full swing this. Once again, you still have to get a kill somewhere if you're Fishbone in that situation if you wanted to have a focus more on this 5v2. Yeah. Well done from Q9. That's great kind of responses to Scars, what they were trying to put together. Say, hey, if they want to try to threaten us through mid-map, let's just take a step back, see if we can catch somebody out, and it worked out great for him, tying up the half as we swept the sides.
Hey, reminiscent of that firing range versus Tribe, isn't it? Where they were unable to find the aggressive route, so you just hold the angles and you just wait for the challenges to come your way, and you just overwhelm them with numbers. Now side swap, Q9 on offense. A lot of numbers on that north hallway trying to go over towards A.
Look at this play coming out of the side of Scars' defense. Double check and make sure no one's coming through B, then you can just take over halls and re-wrap back over to A. This is essentially an offer saying we will have to play retake though at A. So they lose their solo defender. And now the question must be answered. Gets to a 4v4, no trade in the mix. Ryu clearing secret, no one home. And the setup for Q9 is all individual 1v1s. The only player that can flex right now is Island. Ruan throwing shoulders. What in the pre-fire for Cash? Nate cooked up. Well timed. Here we go. There. So okay, now it's on towards Scars. Can you find a way to get this going? It's taking a lot of time. And how about that position from Tang? Yeah, great slide channel to finish him off. And the last hope for this retake has to come by way largely of this play through mid-cut. Cash falls, make up top, just too far away. And Q9 just get a free plant, free round almost.
It just was that simple, wasn't it? When you're just planning it over towards A, and it's complete misinformation, a misread, sorry, from Scars to think that maybe there could have been a lot more focus, maybe through upper halls, if not over towards the B, S, and D. But you get that bomb planted, it's planted both for Tin and over by Well, both wonderfully executed and held down by Q9.
Another mad dash out of spawn. This time it's going to be met by Scars' opening defensive setup. Trophy systems are down. Island for first blood. Ruan looking to follow up. Nothing there. Trades go the way of Scars. Tang trying to keep the play alive, but is ultimately empty in his efforts, leaving it all down to D-Chen in the first 10 seconds.
And it will be snuffed out there in the middle of the map. So Scars, again, you know, just kind of taking a page out of Q9 book. You don't have to get wily and too expressive through the middle of the map. You just have to be able to hold these longer lines of sight and learn the tendencies of what Q9 are trying to throw at you offensively.
The thing that I enjoy, though, about Scars kind of committing to try to run this heavy stack towards B is that it does eventually allow you a chance to make a decision of, do we play through Lambo, do we play through up top halls? And Q9 have put together the response for that exact same setup. Trying to control this side staircase, although right with the first blood, we'll actually have to push Q9 back in towards their spawn overall, and that's full B control now for Scars. Q9 is always going to have to be thinking about what's playing over through Lambo. They have no idea what's coming through Tile or what's coming through Lambo right now.
Oh, Fontaine. It's about to have some really good timing, but Uling is ready for that challenge. And look at Q9 again. They know that they have so much time to maybe try to make this play happen. So they're just going to be feeling quite comfortable with themselves with this hallway control, expecting Scars to flank around. Saw him cross.
Yeah, I think so.
Will arrive in 1 minute.
But which direction did he go after you saw him cross? Small advantage here for Q9 as they're already up top, trying to threaten over towards Patio, and Ryu is very aware that this could be happening. He's got help with him, it's Fishbone. Nah, but Cash, unfortunately on the backside, not able to find anything. A 1-for-1 would have been great for the cause. Nick picks up the trade though, that will do all right. And you kind of have Q9 stuck here over towards Office. Double chow comes out, Island falls, and you've got to look over the top. They can't plant this at B. And just like that, Scars kind of find themselves in the advantage.
Oh, this is really dangerous for Ron. Keep in mind, this is on here at Q9, and you had your other teammate there of Tang just completely clearing the A side. I love this call, Ron. Don't try to push out from bottom fire. You just want to try to get this bomb down and extend the round. But as Tang tries to pick up from Ruan's scraps, will end up going down. And now a nice little 1v3 for the post plant.
And he catches Ryu now with his gun up. Regen should come through. 1v1 with Mick. Does he guess correctly? Has he seen him? Sure has. The turn comes out, but Mick finishes him off through the wall bang. It's Scars back up on top, 5-4. A tight search. And I mean, this is an aggressive game of chess. We're trading power pieces right now with how these guys are playing each other.
And seeing how fast we can rush a rook or a queen across the board over here. It's
LMG
look,
here.
If you're going to try to set the pace here, if you're Scars, you have to be ready for it if you are Q9. And it just seems that there's always that one extra player that wants to get a little bit too over eccentric with their challenges, and they keep getting caught back out as Scars win 2 in a row and take that 1-round lead.
Same defensive setup once again for Scars. This 3-man stack towards B. But look at the difference here for Q9.
Warning.
Not giving away any information. And then waiting for the push to come out. Ryu should be caught here. Have they seen him? How are they eluding one another? You go up, I go down. You come in, I go out. Ray was able to find the kill. Not quite able to get away though. But cue the Benny Hill music there for a moment, because Ryu was breaking ankles, and now all of a sudden Cash up top through Office also sniffs out a couple of extra Q9 offensive players trying to get underneath.
You also have DHN just being an absolute nuisance, bottom fire, waiting to see if anybody tries to reach out forward. And like, you can't blame Cash, has to go check the A bomb site. Not all the information in the world, because all of those kills that happen over at Lambo, it could be expected. But the biggest issue is that Cash and Fontajin, they are isolated, but finding an isolated engagement, even being 2-piece, that's great. Great start.
Like this idea. Fontajin can watch your angle. Get in.
Your teammate is making away screens. Get the dog tags and help them return to
Look
the
at the
battle.
long play out of Tang. Yeah, he's got this perfect timing.
Finish.
Just down to Cash. Has to go. First one over the top of the heady. Tough gunfight. Wins it. Second one nearby. Snaps over. Yes! The 1v2 for Cash. Put Scars on map point.
I'm very confused as to why Tang wanted to slide chow that at the very end. All you had to do in that position through the stairs to the upper hall was just check the bomb. You had time on your side. There's absolutely no reason why you should try to slide chow that and just take the engagement, especially with the weaponry that was utilized there from Cash at the very end. Now map point here for Scars to potentially go up 2-0 in the series.
Here we go. This is a little bit of a different setup this time. No defenders over towards A, but still the extra focus. It's technically a 4-man feed, trying to play over towards B. First blood zone good, that opens up the complete side of A. Look at the long wrap coming just above.
Airdrop
Oh,
incoming.
does he hear any of this? Pistols out, as if to say, yeah, I think someone's nearby. Oh, he misses it in the corner, though! It scores! Get the benefit of 2.
Oh, caught with a nade. Evening things up. Bomb planted over at A. Fishbone, he's going to try to chow out through 10, trying to coordinate this pinch on 2 different fronts.
Goes to the front angle, free kill. Q9 hold from on top of the site. Rewind, denied, just down to Island. Need a 1v3, no, shut down by Mick. And how about Scars? Take down Q9 in what you said was going to be China's best overall game mode. They looked far superior in this one, 7-4 the tally. And now Scars, believe it or not, 1 map away from making it to the playoffs.
I didn't have this on my bingo card for this best of 5, Alan. I'll tell you that much. I don't even have an actual bingo card. But regardless of all of that, it's just every single thing that I was saying about Q9, their adaptations to understand the enemy's tendencies, of what we saw from Tribe, was exemplified that much better from Scars.
Yeah, I agree.
It kind of feels shades of that Summit hardpoint. Q9 were setting a blistering pace. They were in the lead for such a long time, and all it took was just Scars' understanding of where these players are located at, how they're using their utility, and how do I counter that, and it works just ever so flawlessly.
Did 14 kills from Mick, 12 from Ryu, and they were, I mean, the playmakers, not just in finding eliminations, but creating the play in the first place.
Yeah.
That's just great efficiency out of Scars, and it kept feeling like every single time we saw them on this defensive setup, it was one-dimensional. They made that the same defensive play the entire way through that back half. But Q9, try as they did, could not find the response to it. And the thing about it is, if this was a very predictable default setup where you're doing this three-man stack through B, because of how that side of the map functions, your ability to say, we're not actually going anywhere, that's option one. Option two is to take over side halls. Option three is to push into Lambo.
Yep.
And they flexed on all three of those ideas. That's brilliant game planning from Scars.
Yeah, even Fontagen just being very proactive. No, it didn't have you know, the sexiest KD ratio there at the end, but just the overall pressure of that second sniper all the way back in the water for that very final round just about means everything. And then they set themselves up for a standoff control. Another respawn. It does not look too good for Q9 Club.
Other updates really quickly. Stamina up 2-0 on NYSLM. I think it was a 7-3 search and destroy. Right now, Skade is in a 6-5 search on Charlie. They are up, but it looks like it is going to go to OT just as they finish off those final kills. Dude, these matches are tighter than I think any of us would have expected it to be, just based on how we kind of came into this event, what the community, you guys out there were saying about where the power rankings kind of lied for some of these teams and some of these regions in particular. I don't think anyone was sitting there saying Scars was going to have a chance to make it to playoffs, but we take a look over towards that game in progress, as I was just previously mentioning. Skate up 1-0 after, I think it was a pretty tight hard point win, but we've got OT here on Fire and Research.
Tied up, bomb. Still needing to work its way towards one of these bomb sites, but I mean, in this 2v4, the lay of the land is truly are yours if you are almighty. Just waiting for the challenges and seeing no, just waiting for the challenge. They're inside of 10. Has one more if they want it. Yeah, playing the head glitch of the bomb. Why not?
Needs to be waiting for Pop Zero right there on the backside. Leo.
Enemy vehicle nearly done.
Incendio forces the gunfight shut down. An OT advantage to Skate. This is about to happen.
Hey, you gotta remember, Alan, that when Almighty and Skate ended up facing off against each other, Skate did take both of the Incendio was trying their heart out. They got some eliminations, but it could also be talked about with Mihawk at 17.
A couple of superstars in this matchup. Smokes all over me. This is a fake. Skater not committing. Some free fire, some smoke coming through, and Incendio is shaking hands with Mihawk. They passed each other, and Mihawk gets the kill. Now towards tires. Somebody put an end to this guy. Finally, Heaven does. But a little bit of disconcerting effort from Skate. This was supposed to be a fake, but because Mihawk got two, the boss started to rotate, and Shut Up can actually stall out this play. He gets a double of his own. That's gonna bite Skate right in the rear. A little bit of mistiming on the decision making.
Yeah, it's definitely gotta be feeling that one. Don't want to count anybody out. 1v3s we have seen, but typically the bomb needs to be down for such a retake. SKS in the hand here for Leo Zera, and needs to be able to find a nice cheeky angle. Needs some more information. He does get that information out towards the second. Finds two, 1v1.
Plenty of time, 45 seconds. Quick on the hunt is Heaven. Just a pistol in hand. Does Leo Zera get caught? He doesn't see him. He didn't look.
Ready for upgrade.
But Heaven's gonna get in the trailer. And they're gonna meet just on the outside of the door. Leo Zera, that's the only location he hasn't checked yet. I'm going down. Heaven off the shoulder, yeah. That'll work out. Good on Heaven, I would say. I mean, yeah, there's a couple of mistimings here and there, but to sneak in the trailer,
yep.
Ooh.
It was just about everything. I mean, if you didn't see them cross the middle of the map due to some very unfortunate timing, then you know that they're not going to end up going all the way back through Banana over towards B. Gets the sound cue over towards the AES and D. And we got ourselves an offensive round coming through from Almighty.
Oh my, it is chaos. It's chaos. The obstacle course is littered with bodies. Quick exchange now down to a 2v2. Almighty still feeling like, wait a second, we have the ability of actually moving forward right here. I mean, that was pretty much the entire Skate army. But it's Endio, sneaks up towards barrels, checks over towards the left, catches Leo Zero out, trying to get a trophy down, and Mihawk's behind this play. But he will not know for sure that Almighty are making this rotation all the way through container over to B. Now he's seen it. Can he get the cross in time?
Oh, shut up. He's not looking this way. The timing needs to be there for them. There's a slide shot with the Deagle, and they have completely escaped.
Wait. Do it.
Oh.
I thought he was going to hop for the ninja. That was low-key.
Might have been better.
Yeah, it may very well may have been. Mihawk now stuck topside 10. Oh, this is difficult with a pistol sniper combo. And Almighty are just killing time. Although, hello. Oh, never mind. Pistol back out, shut up. Trying to get over to Jeep. Yeah, good help from Zendio from behind. Dude, I thought for sure with him watching them run, I thought this was gonna hop.
Hey, we've seen it plenty of times, especially with how much you and I watch 4v4. But you know, it's sometimes when it comes down to COD Mobile, you just really want to get those eliminations. Advantage now for Almighty on the defense. And the way that Skate have just rolled out offensively, they are 100% playing for point of contact. They want a pick or two first before they fully commit towards one of these bomb sites. As they are slowly working through Banana, they are going to run into a Holger 26 in the hands of Jeff.
Yeah, this is the right weapon for it. Gets the informational read, tries to take the challenge, but well dissected by Skate. And they get across too. I mean, you got Heaven with the scope. Trying to watch this. Nades are now going his direction. This could lead towards the bomb getting on towards site. And Senyo's made his way through container though, and very well could deny in his own right. And how about this? Gator getting cold feet, and this is actually the right read.
Also have players on the opposite side here for Almighty that are also reading this, and it's going to be Shut Up, who's all the way on the outside of America.
The revived flight will arrive.
Very tight angle to watch.
The airdrop
is coming. This if you're Skate.
You need two from Shut Up right here. How about one? Okay. Well, Leozin still keeps the play over towards B alive. That's still an option that you have to consider if you're Team Almighty. Linz back on for the plant. Irfan not able to deny. Has not seen the exit as of yet. How do you retake this if you're Almighty? Heaven will give us an option. Pistol from behind, but they lose Shut Up from the front side. Irfan, can you follow up behind this? Yeah, trade is good.
Airdrop has been delivered.
2v2 situation. Mihawk Leo, play it deep. The full retake coming from the front. Heaven off the reload off the pistol. Works out. Now it's just down to one. Mihawk deep. Sniper rifle. First one connects. How about the second? Bang! A double for Mihawk. And we tie ourselves back up at 8.
Every single time that there is a certain distinct advantage, it always gets answered back in kind. Remember, that is going on our Charlie broadcast. If you want to watch the conclusion of the rematch of Skate and Almighty, make sure you go over towards Charlie as we hop back into our main focus here, Alan. And it's going to end up being here for Q9 versus Scars. Really, quite literally, I know we said it quite often, do or die time for Q9. You know, the Chinese representation really needs to be able to come out in full here for the standoff control after losing what should have been a bread and butter map mode combination of Hacienda Search and Destroy.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%. So here we go. I mean, you have to pull up the reverse sweep to keep yourself in it.
The revived flight will arrive in 1 minute.
And we swap over again just while everything's getting set up. Again, there's so many matches going on right now, and all of them look really nasty. Control's a 1-1 tie right now in the Stamina NYSLM game. Wolves up 1-0 in their series versus Vitality are also Search. We jump into this one. Overtime affair between Skate and Almighty. Skate 1 round away from going 2-0 up on what a lot of people would have said was going to be the tournament favorite from the Eastern region.
Rounds in a row, Skate were able to put together. Look at the rollout that they're currently putting together. All 5 players essentially trying to push over towards A, pistol in hand.
That's bold, to say the least. Where is the rest of the automatic support? Zonov gets a double. Counter nades come through, and I don't know what that was supposed to be. Why our pistol carrier was the first one forward. Was that a late setup call? Did we just not get the right classes put together? Very strange, and Shut Up says thank you very much for the easy kills.
It's absolutely absurd. Every single time that there's a 1-round advantage, there's always some type of wonkiness to come all the way through. And yeah, who knows? Maybe the 50 cal is just the new SMG. It's not, but it's yeah, very, very strange. It's important to know Mihawk through these rounds are up to 22. And it's finally past Incendio, who is just at 21. Big shot to start things off. That's
a mid cross play. Look at this. Look at the follow up from Skate. They're just going to run right through mid. They have trailer control. They can also block the exit. Mihawk's gonna find an easy one for free. No, Shut Up will be able to turn this on the side, but there's no exit still. Skate locking things down from the back. And great isolation and containment come through for the Brazilians. Irfan can do nothing. And all that starts because you get the opening pick with the scope.
Yep.
And how about the quick decision making for Skate to say, all right, I'm in there.
Yep. No, that's exactly what we want to see. Is even more refreshing through 19 rounds worth of play that Skate are still willing to hit the gas that effectively, cover through the middle of the map, and then follow up with it soon after, making sure that everybody from Almighty was trapped on their side of 10. Back to this point of contact, trying to play for a pick offense. But Incendio has found his way toward Wood.
He doesn't have to do anything but stay here. A is a lock. He's feeling greedy. Makes the play in towards Wood. This is bold. That is very bold. I don't know. You take away the entire middle of the map by sitting there. You can move your defense around just because of that forward position, but
tied for the lead.
The greedy play looking for timing on the kills works against them, and now Skate have numbers advantage.
And they want more. They're going nowhere. They're trying to see if maybe they can catch another player from Almighty out, guessing to where some of these plays are coming from. But the way that Almighty has the map spread, they have pretty much every single bomb set left in that cover.
Someone has to hit a shot, and I think it's going to have to be Heaven on this cross. Smoke comes through though, well placed. Nade's also connecting. Shut Up is actually have to give up the ankle, but they still capitalize on a couple of kills. And how about Shut Up? Oh my goodness! Little jumping to reach shell over towards the backside of trailer. And he ends up walking away with 2 key eliminations, keeping Almighty in this round.
This is what they've been able to do through search and destroy continuously through the entirety of the day. 17 eliminations, the majority of that coming through with the sniper rifle. Leo's in. Casual 1v4 does scoop the bomb, but they're starting to be swarmed. Does find the first shot off though.
Oh, he's aware that the flank's coming through, but Heaven, yeah, clean from him. We stay knotted up. My goodness, this search and destroy. Target becomes 12 now. We can be here for a minute. I'm here for it.
Target down. The slight adaptations coming through continuously. This was not one of the search and destroy maps that these two teams did play earlier when they did face each other during the group stage, but it's going to be something to behold for itself the longer we go and the more adaptations we see.
Well, this is interesting because Shut Up's opening first blood would seem good, but look at the defense. 2 forward on B and 2 in trailer. And now that you've gotten a counter, this is still a very good point. Considering the opening first blood, Skate is going to get a player deep in towards the jungle path. That will free up Leo Zero to come back towards mid. He can help out his players that are currently just high-low stacked inside a trailer.
Heads up. Enemy UAV spotted.
Still need more information before you commit. This one's from lines right now. Almighty, there it is. Incendio is going to be able to take down Link. You did not need a challenge. Just needed to be able to hold it. You have eyes on 2 bomb sites.
Yeah, the thing about it was you didn't even need to look for intel. I mean, you're double stacked in trailer. First time we've seen them even try to pull that defensive setup. So now, once more, Almighty in this tug-of-war game find themselves in the advantage, making their way on towards A. Bomb will be planted. Watching the flank. Incendio may just do it all himself right here. Last player up is Leo. Able to at least get 1 response, but it's an SKS against the last 3 members of Almighty. Targets inside over the top. First point of contact comes out, but it's Jeff who wins the gunfight in Almighty. Looking to get us even up in the series. Just need 1 more round.
Yeah, again, it's just almost gifted, wasn't it? There, you lose first blood, leaving things up. It's 4v4. You have mid-match, B-bomb, and 2 inside of 10. They're going to challenge you if they're trying to go over towards A, and I love this call coming through from Skate. Go for broke. 5 players deep through Banana.
Oh, but Incendio's here with the Holger. He's doing so much damage, just can't quite finish off an elimination. He gets his teammate though, Jeff, a lot of intel. And they exchange 1 for 1. Help has also arrived in the form of Heaven and Scope. And yeah, Skate, I think, are very quickly realizing that this is not an option, but Incendio finds them on the exit. Irfan's also blocking things over in towards Wood, although he does drop rapidly. So a very mixy start to this GOT round. Mihawk tagged but stays alive. Leo's in. Enemy one. How about Incendio? Shuts him down off the delayed reaction. And now it's Mihawk, a required 1v3. Heaven, long range, sniper rifles, true, and Almighty will tie up the series.
It took us 22 rounds and the 3rd search and destroy between these 2 teams for Almighty to finally take a search off of Skate,
has been destroyed.
leaving themselves up 1 apiece going in towards the control. This is absolutely a bonfire of a match. It is insane to really think about how close those 2 teams honestly are.
How about this? Round 5 in control. Drary's bonking people on the top of the head.
We lost the
Life
lead.
advantage, Red Wire SLM, who's going to have to reverse sweep in this series, down 0-2. looking good for them at the moment, but how about Ferrari still forcing the issue forward? That's going to leave Stamina a chance to get on towards this B site to stop the first tick of progress. Maybe still a chance here. You know, there's a lot of time on the clock, but you've got operators to come through. You're starting to neutralize this kill lead very rapidly, and NYSLM are kind of stuck in their spawn. And
you need more, though, if you are Stamina, when you're thinking about it. You're still down by 4 lives. That got diminished away from where it was about 9, just not even a few moments ago. And look at how far back they have all the way inside of E3. The biggest difference, though, and who could be a real thorn in the side is where Nero's position on the map.
These are all 1v1s, though. And look at the kill feed. Stamina still coming up on map. This was a 9 life lead, now down to 4. 30 seconds off the clock. Art's with information, but the deep shot's better for Mayhem. Still, though, Marvel holding a key position with the Krig just inside Art.
It's up team.
Wants the 1v1 with Ravallo. Bold challenge. It works out for him. Predicts the trade, but has guessed incorrectly. May not make much of a difference, though, because now Mayhem are kind of forced to have to play through mid, and Marvel's read the play.
Enemy contact. Just about all majority here of Stamina, just around ring, making sure that they can defend this B zone. Now down by 5 lives again.
Enemy in sight.
NYSL Mayhem are starting to get more positioning as well. You got so many players inside a kitchen.
You have to bail out your teammates that are spawning right now. Oh, maybe not. Quithilla and Arts come off spawn and each find an elimination. Marvel does come back to help things out. All of a sudden, it's a 5v6.
It's too close.
Mayhem trying to stave off elimination, extend this series. Claws out from Quithilla. 38 seconds on the clock, and Mayhem are going to try to play through mid-map. Marvel's here to read this. Ferrari also there to assist. The kills come out, and now a 3v4.
I'm hurt.
Quithilla still able to assist up top. Secures the trade, 2v3. Norix on the back has got to read onto Space. It's Space with the SKS. It's just down to Quithilla. No more claw. 1v3 in 15 seconds. Trigger discipline. Doesn't read the player at Laundry, though. Comes in, finds Ravallo, tries to turn, has the second in front of him, but it's Space who saves the day. And maybe a little extra breath of life for Mayhem.
Oh, well, it's a breath of something, I'll tell you that much, considering that it was a much-needed control win there for NYSL Mayhem, being down 0-2. Not where you want to be, not even in the slightest, but still, nonetheless, NYSL Mayhem will stay alive, and it got scary, to say the least. That trigger discipline I have seen way too many times on Raid Control through many different titles of Call of Duty, and I've seen it go so many different ways. But nonetheless, you held on to the life lead all the way until the end. Yeah, it got hairy. Yes, we had a 9 life lead. It got diminished down to 2, but still, nonetheless, NYSL Mayhem keeping their tournament alive.
How can you not love COD Mobile with this going on right now?
Are you not entertained?
Dude, 16 teams from all across the world, and everyone at this moment is giving it every last drop of gas to make it to Saturday. I mean, the prestigiousness that comes with being a playoff team in the first ever Stage 5 on LAN would say a ton, let alone the regional implications that would come with wins and losses on top of that.
That's right.
But Mayhem's still a long and arduous path in front of them. I mean, this Stamina team's looking real nasty right now, and they would have to still pull off 2 straight maps to get North America a second team in the playoffs, third team in the playoffs.
It would definitely be something to see all North America representations being able to make it in towards the championship bracket, but I mean, easier said than done when you're going up against a roster like Stamina. They lost the control. Again, it's very tough to fully gauge and analyze what ended up happening. Will put themselves in such a weird position after losing at least one zone and being down horrendously for so many lives. But regardless of the matter, you have to be looking for the future. If you are NYSL Mayhem, you really have to be relying on core fundamentals to be able to put yourself in a position to be able to take that map 4 and potentially, hey, take that map 5 as well.
Enemy contact.
There's the current status of Group A. And it kind of hit me by surprise. I mean, we haven't really seen a lot of Smart Omega on stream, but I mean, Beef Mommy called it out perfectly. 2 3-0s. And yeah, some of those maps were tremendously close in that matchup versus Stamina. Not so much against Mayhem, though. Smart Omega looking like a team to not be trying to win. They exit out of this what we said was going to be a very even Group A with convincing results. Yeah, that's definitely a team to keep our eye on once we get to Saturday.
Still a lot of question marks around just maybe that's just how convincing it honestly is for Smart Omega not dropping a single map on the day, as as you were saying, just as close as possible as we were taking a look at these groups as well. Wolves have a 2-0 lead over Team Vitality. That's a matchup having on Bravo. And then our main focus is Q9 Club, still waiting to be able to get ourselves inside of that matchup. But here's Group B for us, Alan. Inco Stalwart just really coming out of the gates, absolutely swinging and really just making sure that they're keeping the region on the map, something that we didn't expect. Well, they held off Wolves.
Yeah, it was an impressive display across the entirety of the team.
Yeah.
Like, it's going to be hard to not just sit here and talk about Lucas in, but we have to, because Dad looked great today. He was unbelievably hot.
Yep.
And this is a Wolves team that is really solid. I mean, Strut kind of surprised them. That was our first kind of shell-shocking moment of the entire event. But Wolves picked up no problem. Still have to fight their way towards qualification. Meanwhile, you take a look at Luminosity, and there may be something in the facet that Luminosity was able to deal with Skade in 4, because this Skade team is disgusting, as we're currently learning in Almighty. That has been, I would say, the biggest buster of everyone's bracket so far, was Skade taking on Almighty in the first round.
Oh, absolutely. I don't think anybody really saw that coming, especially with how close that entire 5-map set really was. I mean, the respawns were not as competitive, because Almighty would look pretty darn comfortable in that first map, but the search and destroy prowess coming in from Skate, albeit losing that firing range in 24 rounds is the biggest difference maker. But yeah, Luminosity do look very good.
How about this round, though? I mean, we kind of talked about how this group may be very lopsided, but maybe not the way we expected. Scars a clean and very convincing opening 3-0 versus Influence Kemen. And now an opportunity to possibly close the door on Q9 up 2-0 in our current main focused match here on the Alpha stream. Whereas for Tribe Gaming, yep, kind of another day at the office for those boys. Handled it really no problem.
Came in from the home market. You're back out. See you at dinner. Look. It's almost enemy in sight from Tribe. You know, I mean, the number 1 NA team, they did get pushed back a little bit. Targets in the sight. That's really where a lot of the question marks at least exist. Their teamwork, everything goes great. The Q9 Club, that team that did take that map off of Tribe on a fire and search and destroy, absolutely reeling right now. They desperately need to stay alive here. What would it honestly be? Just think about it from a Scars perspective. You're the only Japanese representation here at Worlds. Targets in sight. If you have a massive chance to beat one of the competitive Eastern teams in the Q9 Club 100%. And make the championship bracket.
Yeah, I mean, it's just really... There's something kind of like oddly poetic about it, because the Fall Invitational, which I think a lot of people in the community are looking at as like, so this is the actual test of who's the best of the East. Scars wasn't there because it was just Arena China.
Yep.
So you've got a team that went flawless, didn't drop a single map in their individual region. We kind of came out like, oh, is Japan even competitive? Is Scars that good, or is the region that bad? Maybe both at this point, because Scars is looking enemy contact with it today.
Be able to continue on with all of that as well. There's obviously a lot of individuals that we can sit there and talk about with Scars. Targets in sight. Hand in hand, specifically with LATAM, two different sides of the world, two different hemispheres, excuse me, but it's just one of those things that Scars are really making sure that we have to keep Japan in our minds.
Yep.
When you and I were even watching it back in 2020, we were sitting there really over-analytically like breaking it down, because some of these players were getting away with highway robbery.
Yeah.
Sometimes
that's
things were a little bit more competitive.
And who knows? I mean, Scars, if they were to go on a little bit of a run here, people in the comp ops department are probably saying, do we need to give more spots to Japan next year? Because, my goodness.
Priority tasking failure.
All right.
Return to base.
Control coming up. Scars up 2-0. Standoff is the location, the venue. And how about this? The other thing we gotta keep in mind is these Eastern teams, they love holding on to sniper rifles throughout standoff control. So are we gonna get more of that? Or is it gonna be mostly rifles and SKSs in the mix? Opening approach. Already very quickly through the A site goes Scars. B is under threat. That'll be the premise of stopping the clock here for Q9, but it is just 2 members that are here. And you can see Scars are saying, all right, you guys can sit there for a minute. We're just going to go take map control first.
Yep. That's the right idea when you're thinking about it. The biggest issue with this SKS in Island's hand, where they're positioned at, you can see a lot of players ended up crossing. It just comes down to timing to try to make it back over towards that side of the map.
Well, Q9 are going to essentially freely capture B. And if you can't take by the candor of my voice, I'm a little surprised, because the only person to challenge was just a single member of Scars. They have let this go freely. And the kills are not convincing for what it's worth, by the way, for Scars. This is already a little problematic because Q9 has good control here at Bakery, and if Ruan can just hold his life, that's going to do wonders towards reducing this life lead.
Yeah, I mean, a 9 to now 11 start with just sub 2 minutes on the board. You want to talk about a lay of the land for Q9 to potentially take this in a blistering pace? Well, it is happening right here and now. There you have the map split quite wonderfully.
Iron now the next player up over towards Bakery.
Contact with
Q9
enemy.
are winning on all fronts. And once more, again, with Island now in a position on, I believe, 4 in a row, by the way. He just has to kill off time. His teammates are already on towards the H. First tick of progress is looking good. Long round for Scars, trying to get over towards Della. Second tick of progress is on the way, though. Oleg, 1v1, trying to possibly lock it in himself, but turned aside. Ryu trying to get out, not going to be able to, though, as Tang is now the next one in. And
Trade enemy online here. It's a 2 for 3 so far. Now just down to a 5v3. This should all be wrapped up for Q9.
Yeah, looking good. Predator is going to be phoning in just to make sure they can steal away the opening offense. And there are going to be questions, I think, about why would you let the B zone just freely go over? Yeah. Ryu's going to give it the good old college try, but gets shut down. And I mean, I won't say that Q9 were gifted that round. They were making some special plays happen to make sure that they were able to lock in that B zone, but it did feel a little bit too easy.
No, they weren't gifted the round, but they were surely gifted the B zone. Again, there were players in position. You were finding stuff was actually happening in and around of round, but it's all coming up in Q9.
Contact with enemy coming through now. Again, you can feel it. Q9. Instance of progress really anywhere. Finally, that will change. His Fontaine is going to pull out the clock. Maybe just try to do it himself. Not a lot of help on the zone. He's just stopping the clock while his teammates are essentially winning the backside of gas station. This is working out beautifully. Hold on a second. Shoots on the other foot. Fontaine all of a sudden has a look in towards the defensive spawn.
To 5 start, and the spawn trap started to ensue. Just need to be able to get yourself on this zone. You need more time. You are Scars to work your way back in towards this round, down by 3 lives.
This is just a game of who can get the spawn trap in first. I mean, it's like,
actually,
we're in your spawn, now I'm in your spawn. It's a whole thing right now. 14 plays 12, only 1 tick of progress locked in, 35 seconds on the clock. Lots of operators on both sides. Does anyone feel the need to possibly pull any of these out, maybe to get an advantage towards going up 2-0, or maybe stealing away an offensive round here if you're Scars? Still progress on A. A little bit of help on the way, but Q9 largely not in a position to fully recontest as of yet. Finally, the clearance comes out. Mick mid-map trying to respond. Good trade. One more to grab. On the corner, the Purifier gets pulled out. And Mick may have just saved this round as the second tick of progress is good. We got a 5v8.
Salting them with water. 5v7. Mitigating lives. Need to stay on one of these zones. If you get 60 seconds, and as you have the Purifier waiting for them to chow you, yeah, you're going to be able to do just that. 4v4 almost feels like a search round.
Q9, how do you set yourself up here? You're not going to contest an extra minutes on the clock. This is just a TDM 4v4. Fontaine in a little bit of trouble. Taken down, not able to get anything off of his life. But the Hunter Killer Drone gets 2 on the backside. And it's in a little loop-de-loop over through Cubby. And Mick from the grave nearly gets it done. Predator missile in, will not land.
Enemy
the
contact.
last player's bunkered up in towards Krampus. The clock now. Stop. Progress being made. Mick through the middle of the map works out well. And it's just down to D-Chet. Nades expended. Can you get into this? Doesn't predict the right core, but keeps his life. Second tick of progress is on the way. Chipping away at it. D-Chet has to make a move, and he's stuck. Wow. How about the heroics from Mick?
You know, you will end up trading offense for offense, not to completely dissuade everything that Mick just put together, because it was absolutely massive. But the way that that round had just concluded,
enemy in sight.
Scars only got 4 seconds. That's why I was sitting here just like screaming, like, you need to go. You needed to die before that second segment came through. Luckily enough, it did. Q9 will have a 1-segment lead, but trading offense for offense here on standoff, very unheard of.
Very unheard of indeed. Rare occurrences here.
They're hurting. Keep fighting.
Enemy contact.
Keep on
Good
them.
start for him.
Winning this one.
Scars deal with the opening play from Q9 flawlessly, by the way.
Enemy in sight.
3 kills go their way. D-Chen keeping his life, finds some space to work with inside of Hotel, but I mean, look at the blue arrows already trying to put together another spawn trap situation. Tang saying anything you can do, I could probably also do. Maybe not better necessarily. D-Chen working with him. Purifier on Purifier action, and Scars come up with a different game.
26 v 24. First segment of the day just has a Mustachio Terror progression on it, and it's just not going to be good enough. Finally, Q9 find the space available for themselves to move their way past middle of the map, get themselves on A. Just a single player here, and I love this call coming through from Q9. Get one player inside of Brown, get the other two players to wrap around on the backside of the alleyway.
Second to the progress is going to be given up for free. Kills would probably determine if there's any sort of challenge here at A at all. And well, Q9 continues to kind of pop up the kill team, and will just be ready to give it one good try. Not going to work out. That costs a very valuable life, mind you. And so now 22 plays for 15. Huge advantages for Q9 and their second offensive attempt. Just comes down to, can you get on towards B? And yeah, how about it? Oleg already on. Operator score streaks. What do you want to use here, brother?
Ron to deal with him towards the back. Finally, Cash will end up finding that elimination, but you can see just how spread thin the resources are right now for Scars. Just players just trying to get themselves back in towards Bakery, but coming up, not necessarily totally unsuccessful, finally working their way back in. But the life deficit after trying to get that A zone back in their favor will be down by 5 lives with over a minute 30.
Mission accomplished.
What does the only pull out? Yeah, here we go. Predator missile coming through. This will hopefully get a number of kills. Yeah, it gets double. So now 15 plays 8, and win condition has been established by way of just the lives here for Q9. Cash up top. Players around the back of him. He has no ability to fight back from that position. Just hoping he gets a couple of gunfights to go his way. Off spawn, Scars do deal with the threat deep. But where is the last one? Ah, there he is. A little Where's Waldo going on with Island as he gets his 19th elimination. A 10v3, and Q9 look like they're going to keep this an all-offensive affair here on Standoff Control.
Very rare that you're going to be watching a control and asking, well, I guess whoever wins the first defense is going to end up walking away with it. But hey, that's exactly what we have right here. Lives will be exhausted. That first segment did end up coming through at the very least for Q9, who are looking very, very comfortable here on Standoff for a control. And keep in mind, it's very much so required. They are down 0-2 as far as the series is concerned. Bounce back after taking an extended break is what is required for Q9 to stay alive in the tournament.
Will we stay all attacks? Sure kind of feels that way. Q9, great start. Utilizing Island on the clock, trying to get things started for him. Works out beautifully. 3 in a row. How about off spawn now? The focus goes back. Yeah, and off the little bounce pass from the wall. That'll work. Someone's done their homework in geometry lately. Scars do keep the lives even though all that's said and done. Right stuff, 23 plays 24. And for what it's worth, there is a barn burner going on Bravo right now. Mayhem fighting for their life. It's a 233 to 232. Hacienda hardpoint on rotation.
Get ready.
Don't want to miss that one.
Nope. If you don't have 2 taps open, if you don't have 4 taps, you definitely wouldn't have this year in months. What have you been doing all day? But even that, much so said, as lives were even, as we were just talking about, that 24 Scars were able to get themselves at least on towards the A zone. Still off the clock ever so slightly, and now they're starting to run away with a life lead. Fishbone also pulling out a purifier. Will end up at least finding some space provided for the rest of their team, but no more segment progression coming through. Just a 2 life lead now.
3 seconds still on the clock. Once again, Stars having a tough time getting this clock to stall. Sure, the kills have stayed pretty good for you, but you've got to make progress on the objective itself. Q9 in a pretty solid spot to contest. Vonagin on tough gunfight. Not able to come out the victor. And now it's 13 v 11. But more importantly, it's all about can Mick find a way to try to stop this clock, because now all of a sudden the defense has all been your spawn. Not a lot of time here. Missile called in. Fishbone will at least avoid it for the time being, but it's not going to work out. The kills come through and towards the spawning Q9. They will win our first successful defense to get themselves on the board.
Oh man, that is honestly just very weird that it came down to the first defense to be able to win a control in the first place. But Q9, yes, absolutely will be able to do all of that, plus some more, stay alive inside the tournament here versus a very white-hot Japanese representation here at Scars. We set ourselves up later for a map 4, and honestly speaking, I mean, coming out of the gates swinging every single time, even for the defense, you saw the game plan coming through continuously for Q9 to make sure that they were going to win out the initial gunfights and then continue to put the pressure on, making the spawn trap really feel suffocating for Scars to really try to work their way out of it.
It was a game of total flips, though.
Yeah, it was.
It's like, yeah, we've got 3 members in your spawn. Wait a second, we've all died, and now you're in our spawn. It was just like literally shoes on the other foot type thing. Stamina have also, update-wise, defeated NYSLM 250, 233, I believe, was the final score of that map for Hacienda Hardpoint. That will eliminate the Urich Subliners and the Mayhem squad, sending Stamina the only EU representation to make it forward.
Hey, it's a lot of pressure, but it's almost what you want to end up seeing out from those Stamina boys. Uling, by the way, going double positive. I think it was like 36 to 16. I saw absolutely absurd stuff, but hey, that's the step in the right direction, you would think, for Q9, right? If you want to be able to continue on here with the tournament, make the championship bracket, then you have to put yourself in a position to be able to win this takeoff hardpoint. You go back towards that summit, a map mode combination that can't necessarily say that something plays too similar with one another, but the way that Scars were allowed to work their way back into that map number 1 is something that Q9 cannot allow to have happen again. You just can't let off the gas.
Yeah,
versus
agreed.
Scars roster.
And here's the thing, Q9 have only won a single hard point so far today, and that was a 250-245 on firing range against Influence Kemen, the number 3 Latin American team. So
as they were getting outslayed.
Yeah, exactly. And now that we start to consider takeoff, look, here's the thing. If we talk about the stage, we talk about range.
Enemy
even
down.
Hacienda, it's a game of having the This map values early rotations and good setups more so than anything else, just due to the nature of how it's laid out.
Is collapsing.
And then, you know, the ability to kind of stay mixy around the fountain opening hardpoint. You can zone that if you get good high ground control. And I will say, Scars have had a better mindset when it comes to how they want to try to build a little bit of a perimeter around these hardpoints.
Yeah, again, this is something that we noted continuously, even off of that one hardpoint win that they did have versus Kemen, rather than just even the one with Summit, where I resurfaced the same idea is that, hey, this Scars roster, albeit they will end up finding at least one player to go completely AWOL and be able to find those slays when required. It's where they're finding the slays, when they're finding the slays. They are making sure that they're in the right place at the right time to be able to put themselves in a position to be able to generate an abundance of time off of any hill.
Other matches that are going on, still looking in towards the Skate Almighty game, but our first look at what's going on here with Wolves and Team Vitality. India's last chance to possibly make it in towards the playoffs as we get into a slums control, and we're seeing sniper rifles out for Neon.
Airdrop is coming.
And it's working.
And it's working, yeah. I mean, he's currently just slaying out right now, has 3 kills in her name. We're just getting started into this, but I mean, hey, you're already down to 40 seconds remaining, even to the pistol. Someone shooting at this guy, please.
Boy, you got it fixed. Okay.
Oh, no.
6 straight kills for Neon. Random looking to finally put him to rest, but I don't know if you sleep easy after that first life with the scope. Peg also moving forward, cutting down Vitality from behind. The pinch is very effective, very successful. Peg not even done. One more in the corner. His teammate will get him by way of the 100-killer drone and give us 17 playing 6 as opening round.
Almost felt like the moment that we hopped into this look in here on the Delta stream, it was so over. I mean, that blistering pace just off rip there. Neon, as you were saying, that sniper, 7 kills for them, and even Zai as well. Like, it's just a continuous amount of pressure that was being exemplified and really just put on. Vitality just seemingly had no answer. No trades were coming through.
So a dominating opening round from Wolves. We'll swap the sides. They'll have their go at the offense. Neon's still sniping. Okay. Then that's why. Cole had right through Cemetery. I mean, take me to school. You kidding me?
I mean, I'm taking notes right now. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Okay.
And how about a 1-7 start defensively? And again, you know, what you're looking like here for Wolves is that you win through the middle of the map just so quickly. You get inside Garage, you're stopping the clock on the A zone, and you have players inside of the B zone. Where do you go, Vitality? You have to stop it somewhere.
Yeah, not good, not good. Third tick of progress is getting locked in at B. The second's simultaneously locked at A.
Airdrop has been delivered.
And Vitality can't get out of spawn. This Wolves team, do we say that they've woken up? Because the 2 times that we've kind of watched into their matches, they've been pretty contested and pretty tight. This one, at the moment, is anything but.
Yeah, it really does feel like that. That Wolves are playing with that certain amount of tenacity that they needed all day long. And maybe it's just the entire day of frustration not already being qualified that they're taking out on Vitality. 23v5.
The revived flight will arrive.
You can't make it up.
No.
You just can't make it up. 21 kills, required for these last 3 players, and the segment aggressions could potentially also come through as well. It is being worked up, but I mean, Wolves are just having their way here. 2 rounds in a row, convincing at that.
Wow.
Yeah,
That is, yeah, that's a beatdown, brother.
Yep.
That sounded like Randy Savage right then.
Not really, but I'll let you think it.
All right. Channeling my spirit animal on that.
Your spirit animal is Randy Savage? Hey, more power to you.
Here we go. Vitality. Last chance saloon for you. And Neon is still finding just outrageous eliminations with this sniper rifle. Jake now with the Purifier. Cleans out both sets of dumpsters. Oh, luckily Chiesi's able to find one. There is a little bit of a post-martyrdom kill still coming through. And Joko says, you want to dance, buddy? Let's dance.
Well, we'll end up at least taking down King, but I mean, there's just really not much else that you can ask for. I mean, the lives were at least even, but yeah. Hey, if you want to continue to watch that, don't forget to go over towards the Delta stream, because it very much so might be the last time that we see Team Vitality in this tournament as a whole. Skate and Almighty are currently working through their map number 4. It's a Hacienda hardpoint with Almighty having a 2-1 lead. But we'll go back in towards our main focus here. Q9 able to win an abundance of offenses and the 1 defense there on the standoff control. Now find themselves alive in this series versus Scars.
Trying to force the reverse sweep. If they can get to a map number 5. How about Ryo? He has been so good for Scars today. Collecting not just a ton of kills, but he has again been that guy on route more often than not. Nixie first hard point. Even kills pretty much throughout. Also leads to a pretty even scoreboard. The biggest toggle, though, is you have to keep your eye on Scars. Every time they make a play across the map, they need to go further than the hard point. You're trying to flip these spawns around, and the play is coming through Silo. D-Chen shut down. Maybe a chance to get around the back and try to block these spawns up while there's the last 20 seconds to fight for here on the first hill.
You got to be able to get that top hallway control. How potent of a position that honestly can be. Scars just really thinking about it, but also trying to get themselves inside of scaffolding. And the way the Q9 are currently playing, you do have one player that's really giving it up. That's D-Chen, making sure that they get these exits for any lurking players that are going to try to work their way back in.
They push too far. Q9 pushed too far. It's one of those situations where they're doing too good.
Go here to pick up my dog tag.
Too far past the hard point, and Scars get blessed with some spawns to the backside. So pretty much dead even game, but Scars come out the victors as they look to set up for B2. Numbers though for Q9, trying to battle back. A quick recovery, hopefully, as Tang locks down one side. Stun connects. That would be good for elimination. Still though, not in control of the hard point nor the spawns themselves. More quills required. Tang, next one to get onto the hard point itself. Fantagen, though, he's able to take down a double. And with that, Scars are able to stabilize.
It's completely all gone wrong just off of that one overextension that ended up coming through from D-Chen. It just allows, again, Scars to find themselves an opportunity not only to get inside, get gift to the spawns, but then also stabilize as well. One player on the massive flank is that of D-Gen, but it looks like it's actually being ready. Yeah, wonderfully met there by Nick. Does have themselves a streak to be able to utilize. And yeah, 41-19, you're going to chalk seconds barring any sort of heroics and try to set yourself up with a rotation for 3.
Man, put a pin in that hard point, because that very well may be the difference maker in this map, just due to the fact that Q9 was killing a little bit too well. Update from the Delta stream. Team Vitality have been eliminated. Wolves will move on. Q9 looking to again force this reverse sweep and possibly get full representation from China in towards playoffs. Whereas Scars, the only team from Japan, looking to just put him to bed right here. Early specialist starting to get called in, and the kill feed lights up orange. How about Scars on rotation?
The revived flight will arrive in 1 minute.
They got themselves set up. As you were talking about, early specialists utilized. Mix still has their operator. Still has 2 streaks to be utilized, and they will end up calling in themselves in a claw. And if you're looking at this from the spectation of Q9, you really need to try to dig deep and work your way back in. Ron ends up pulling themselves out of Purifier, but it gets met by operators of Scars. They were able to swiftly move their way from P2 into P3 as they're building their lead more.
Reads are successful, though. Scars have just the highest level of awareness on where these hits are coming from. Tang with the opening double, though. Key scrap time here to let this game not get out of hand. And they're really not going to be able to do too much with this. So now we take our attention over towards the top left-hand side of the map. Currently, Q9 in a good position to win the northern part of the minimap, but you can see the route. Look at this route coming out of Scars. You got number 2 and number 5 on the long rotation, trying to set up a bit of a pitch. D-Chen shut down. What does this do towards Q9 spawns? Doesn't make a difference. They clean up the pressure from the flank, and now they can reinforce.
And the middle of the map is also being picked up. This is where Q9 need to be a little bit further proactive. The cross is also being watched. It's a big elimination to find Foxkin, but it's Island inside the window. Has some assistance from their teammates.
The airdrop is
Finally
coming.
stabilizing here on a single hardpoint RQ9.
Island could double from the front doors. That will help his teammates just focus on the nitty-gritty fights inside the hardpoint itself. 30 seconds to fight for. Split spawn situation. The Scars are looking to hit this one more time. Kills are coming through cleanly. Island is stuck. He's got absolutely nowhere to go, and there is not a trade anywhere to be found for Q9. That's just a little bit too easy. And how about the awareness side? Scars very aware of what's going on with the minimap, whereas Q9 are a bit lost on these spawns.
Be lost so long as you continuously try to fight and break for 20 seconds. That is what that early leader's advantage will get you so long as we're continuing to keeping a pin back in P2 for that first set. Going in towards the second, damn near the double score, just a little bit beyond that for Scars. A couple players really showing up in a big way. Fishbone at 17. Ryo, as we were talking about, has just been absolutely lights out at 16, 15, 16 respectively for Cash and Fonta Jin. You need that plus some more going forward. But you really need someone from Q9 to be able to meet that pressure that Scars deliver.
You need someone to get into the hard point too. I mean, that would help with 40 seconds. Everyone else on look at the time across Scars. Everyone's at over half a minute already. Unbelievable stuff. Just selfish game, selfless gameplay, I should say. And so it's a 116-60 game. Q9 trying to claw their way back in. Have to have this second hill. They need it badly.
You just need more zoning. I mean, you already have just Juling just trying to zone away at least the north side, but there's not a whole lot of scaffolding control. This is exactly where Scars are setting themselves up at, making sure that Q9 cannot get inside this hard point for free.
Please don't do the same. Okay, that was
close.
Tight,
it was close. Yeah, you're looking at
literally Uling's just starting to push super far forward, and you think, hold on there, friends. Scars still need to spawn. But they've learned from their previous mistakes, and now we've got ourselves a really tight game of hardpoint coming through. Pred missile out with information on where exactly Scars' hit is trying to come from. Second hill about to open up. Q9 in a good position to control. But look at all of the pretty little light up dots on the right-hand side of the minimap with Scars. They've got operators galore, and they're absolutely prone to use them right when they earn them. That's going to lead to a spawn flip. Now you can turn your attention back to the hardpoint itself, and the kills are there as well. Great stuff coming through from Scars as they look to really establish some control here on 2.
They're going to run out there for at least one. But you were able to get the position, and now Ryo also digging deep, pulls out their own claws, well, completely clears away the staircase. There's one more player just outside of the scaffolding. That was Island, as that more players are spawning all the way out. There's also an isolated play that Uling's trying to put together for themselves. They'll get a teammate actually willing to spawn in on that side of the staircase, but before this play actually finds any sort of success, Alan, there's only 15 seconds left inside the hardpoint. Q9 recognize that. They're trying to rotate over towards new.
This is still great time, though, I think, if you're Scars. You valued into it. Threw a lot of operators, but you came out technical victors on the second hardpoint. You can just focus purely on trying to beat your opponents on rotation. This game time,
the enemy.
We have to consider using operators of their own to put this rotation to bed and have a chance to actually set up a really good look at this third hill.
Got to set it up. And who's that one player that you got to really be looking out for? And that's actually player number 2 in blue. Watch those long crosses. Dueling's also trying to at least pick that up off of the spawn. This is a very easy one-dimensional read here if you are Q9. Everybody from Scars essentially spawning into the hardpoint.
Jen, not great utility usage. Doesn't get anything to stop this play from Scars. Now they've got numbers. Able to neutralize the hardpoint for now. Ruan gives it the high ground, trying to walk this front door. Kills still back and forth. Q9 currently possessing the hardpoint, but here comes the flood from the front. Oh, and everyone's on the way in. Caught during reload was Ruan. And all of a sudden, Scars, the timing and the coordination of the hit, flawless. 20 seconds of scrap time to fight for. And it's just Tame that can really contest, but he may be enough. The double comes through. And a pistol! Triple for Ruan. And Tame to get involved, but the rotation, 10 seconds left. Q9, still more to do.
D10 stayed alive over there for a good while, and that was more than enough work to matter that Scars ended up spawning on the bottom right side of the mini-map. However, with D10 going down, that means that reinforcements were able to work their way through the middle of the map. Now Scars are setting themselves up ahead of this rotation, but it's not like Q9 are far out.
Big win from Scars, trying to control for the time round. And I down back at his tank and a purifier.
Changing mag, covering.
Burns everything in his way. Cash, double of his own, nearly steps above where Uling was trying to pre-fire, but not quite able to manage. Reinforcements on the way, 43 seconds to the hard point. Still a hefty margin and a cushion here for Scars as the numbers start to flood on forward. Uling trying to respond, turns but cannot find elimination. Island the next one in. And Q9 are going to get the numbers here first. This comes down to can they find the follow-up eliminations? Yeah, good for it initially. It's just Fatherton they need to be able to pick apart. He's in the corner, well received,
Reloading.
but Fatherton gets 4 in the process. That'll be good for Hunter Killer Joner.
Still, you look at the lead, you look at how much hardpoint time has just been contested here, Alan. Keep on bringing it back up. That to hardpoint is that still 40 to 50 point lead that Scars have been able to build for themselves. Also look at the operators, the streaks, everything that is being built up for Scars ahead of this rotation. You really do need that Vortex gun or just the gunplay alone to show up here for Q9 in this third set.
Absolutely. And there is yet to be one full-on lockdown hardpoint yet for Q9. Mick, this is bold. Claw's going to get called out on one of the more open hardpoints in the game at the moment. But he's zoning off this high ground position, and the seconds are ticking up. Scars over 210. Q9 are essentially forced to hit through these tight choke points down low, but they do make it work out. SMGs come to life for 4 straight kills, and Q9 will break forward.
Yeah, required break at that, because if you just completely get thrown into the blender, that blender is brought to you by Claw of Mick, then you're probably going to be staring down the barrel of the end of your tournament hopes. But again, same thing ends up happening. You had Q9. They were all the way on the west side of the map, Alan. They overextend. They try to break inside P1, unsuccessful at those 2 different fronts, and they allowed Scars to actually spawn a whole lot closer in recontest the hill.
Yeah, great focus here from Scars. They deal with the lurkers in the backside. Now you can just focus on what's to come, which is this rotation over towards P2. Bottled up. And these kills are looking good from Scars. Tane gets a double, which at least anchors up the spawns one more time, but Scars' lead is massive. And there's still streaks and operators potentially down. Claw out. Gravity Vortex gun will still lock him in, though, and Q9 will get a little bit of breathing room here early.
One player spawning in. Maybe Fishbone behind enemy lines. Nobody's going to be fully aware that this is end up happening, and yeah, that's the break required. 230 to 165. And the way that it's all kind of working out right now is that Q9, I believe, ended up having at least a disconnect. So yeah, we'll see what happens.
That's a key hard point right there. Scars looked good for the break, but hard to say that with any kind of certainty. Meanwhile, you heard the eruptions behind us. Skade has forced a map 5. Woo! Holy cannoli. What a 250, like 140, something like that.
The airdrop is coming.
It was close all the way through that from what I was able to see. Yes, I was going cross-eyed watching this Q9 and Scars as well with the Skade and Almighty. I promised you I would. Keeping Mac Fineglass on that matchup, and hey, it's delivering twice in one day. Skade versus Almighty 2 Electric Boogaloo here for the championship bracket slot. It is going to be quite telling. I don't know what that map number 5 is, but when it comes down to search and destroy, hey, Almighty finally at least won that first one on firing range.
It's gonna feel familiar though.
I bet.
Game 5 between those 2 squads?
Yeah.
Come on. And of course, we'll wait to see exactly what kind of goes on with this takeoff hard point. And look, here's the thing, man. Like, outside of this series, how impressive has Scars been? They are playing some fundamental COD Mobile. Like, we didn't really get a chance. The time zones were a little bit weird. We only watched a little bit of it, and it just felt like, okay, like Scars are just better than the rest of the region. It felt like they were just completely outgunning everybody. But to see them be able to outsmart, out-rotate, and play a better fundamental game of hardpoint, search, and even control at times, that's inspiring stuff for Scars. Not possibly just for this series, but maybe in the future as well.
Oh, absolutely. It just really does show just where the skill ceiling potentially could be for Scars in the Japanese region. Yeah. If they have a deep understanding of fundamental hardpoint, then getting all the slays, it doesn't matter. There are some teams, Tribe, when they were going up against Q9 earlier, specifically in the hardpoints, were absolutely laying waste to Q9, just outslaying them on every single turn. But Scars, again, to pull up that Influence Kemen game, they got handed a very swift demise when it came down to the overall gun skill, but it's their understanding of where to be at the right time was also being exemplified quite wonderfully there in that takeoff hardpoint.
Yep. Looks like information started to be transmitted over to our players as map 5 has started between Skade and Almighty. My goodness. I mean, Skade was a big spoiler in the Western 21 finals. During the group stage, they shut down Nova quickly, had a number of tight games versus North American squads, but this is different if they were to do this.
It really would be. It's something that we as commentators, analysts, we were talking about coming in towards Worlds, and this weekend specifically was that, hey, LATAM, last time during finals, they really put themselves as a region on the map. Now it's just about proving why you are one of the stronger regions, and Skate are living up to it.
Well, the thing too that's really kind of, curious about this Latin American region was a lot of people were excited about Sickness. And they got shut down. So really there were 4 teams out of LATAM that continually saw themselves beating each other up and largely going to map 5 in almost every single series. So, man, a lot of exciting things on the horizon. But of course, the focus stays with those that are locked in the bottom left-hand side, because, I mean, that would be, no one had that. I don't think anyone would have had Almighty losing this game twice.
No. No, I didn't. Even the first one, as competitive as it was, it's just how good Scathe looked in the Search and Destroys in that specific moment of time. They're currently still playing through their first round. It's on a raid Search and Destroy, which, want to go back to it, it was a 7-3 win. That was map 2.
Yeah, it was.
In the first best of 5 that they played on the Delta stream some time ago.
7-3 to Skate, just to be clear on
Yeah,
that.
7-3 to Skate, yep. Yep.
Hard points identified.
Okay, so the update here as we jump on in, Scars only need 22 points. Whereas Q9, a lot loftier of a goal, but I will say everything's reset here. So there is a chance for Q9 could just keep this first hardpoint mixy, rotate back to P2, and maybe pull off the 80+ points that they need.
Potentially almost maybe hope that there's an overextension to potentially come through, but the way that Q9 are actually playing this from the north side, just out of control and loud, is actually quite good. You need to be able to fish out more eliminations and then potentially get past screening with the trades. Ryo showing up twice, Fishbone there for the third. We'll keep that hardpoint in the favor of Scars.
Look, that is just exquisite patience from Scars. You don't quite come out on top of the opening engagement. Nobody forces gunfights. You get a full surround, you hit from multiple angles, and you at least are able to contest some of the middle lap. But now we focus on this rotation. Q9, it was 86 they need to get to Scars 22 after the reset. Scars currently owning the possession of the high ground around this second hill. But Q9 have done exactly what you could ever ask for them to do here on this first hard point. 35 is what they get off the opener. Now it's down to can you find a break? It all comes down pretty much right here to this. Ruan opens up space from the south. Trying to set up a bit of a pinch. His teammates spawning to the north side. Scars all flooding in from the front. Do they focus on this? Do they read the flank that's coming through? Island can pull this play wide up. He gets on the backside. Q9 get the break.
On down, Scars only able to allot 8 points, and then you also have players just currently zoning through the middle of the map. Rolling is being an absolute pest in the middle of the map, not allowing Scars to get close toward this hard point.
Reed not there. Q9 just trying to stay alive in the hard point. Nades on the way in. Scars finding some of the gunfights. It gets to 60 for Q9. Nick on the entry. Shut down by Ruan. Scars still trying to get as many members forward as possible. Q9 spawning tight. An opportunity for them to possibly expend this to another hard point. And Scars are going to at least be able to see another one, which is the good news here just due to the time that's left.
Q9 just need 86 points. If they are able to get themselves in towards the next hard point, then they're going to be absolutely swimming. Somewhere near 20 are all that Scars need, and they have the rotation, but they have 2 players spawning out.
They get the read on this. Here comes the flood from the front. Q9, they've hit the brakes. They're not quite able to get off the initial. 77 to 11. Again, 86 to 22 would be what we need for either of these two teams. Scars collect every single kill. Q9 spawning all over the map. Tang trying to work his way in. It has to be his heroics. The purifier's out. You've got to touch. You've got to get there. And they're not quite able to do it. They get to 22. Scars not fully realizing it yet, but everyone starts to look up. A couple of smiles starting to come through, and there's the thumbs up. And it was tight because it's 25-86 right now. Oh my God.
It was right there. The break almost ended up coming through from Q9. The purifier in hand. That was just about to be it. Yeah, they're actually still going. Yeah. Finally recognizing it, Scars have won. They have eliminated Q9 here in the group stage, and Scars, the only Japanese representation, will make their way into the championship round.
Oh my goodness.
Wow.
We're not even done yet. We got another map 5 going on with Almighty and Scathe. Man, and I'll tell you, for those that are at home, no one has moved in their seats. I think everyone's waiting to see that one come up.
It's a lot on the line. I mean, there's just so much riding on this, right? You know, the strength of 2 different regions, of 4 different regions in between these 2 very close series. I mean, you really got to think that Q9 had an opportunity to potentially make this into a Mat 5 affair, but they found themselves getting a little bit too antsy during that summit hardpoint, overextending at some points in time, allowing Scars to work their way back in to be able to get closer spawns for hardpoints and get those closer spawns. But I gotta tell you, man, Scars They really proved themselves
Your
why
teammate has been
Japanese representation needs to be here.
You know, I will say, I mean, Scars looked like, yeah, okay, you qualified. Job's not done. Like, no pop off at all from Scars.
All business, Alan.
Yeah. Enemy 5. Team Almighty looking to stave off the upset for the second time against Skate. A 2-2 affair here in the Raid Search and Destroy. And Almighty have the numbers, at least in this particular moment. Long route. You can see it. It's number 3 in blue of Heaven, who's taking away so much of this map. And Skade need to go, and they need to go now before they get trapped.
Yeah, I mean, this slight hesitation, the lack of information that's over inside of the basketball closet, and
Your teammate
honestly,
has
over
been
by
killed.
the staircase is just all question marks so far for Skade. They're going to find themselves to be rather trapped as well. They might be working their way back
Your
inside
teammate has
of
been
kitchen.
killed.
Actually end up having your bomb carrier there of Leozera trying to work their way back underneath the bedroom, but I love the patience that's being exemplified from Heaven.
He's just waiting to see if he's going to push through glass. Oh, he does too. He's not going to read it. Does he road trek this again? Neither player aware of one another, and there it is. Heaven a key pick. The bomb carrier down, and you can see Skater stuck. They're a kitchen right now with, I mean, this
Cover
is the
me,
definition
reloading.
of COD Mobile's up creep without a paddle.
It's UV5. Good luck, have fun. Leozin and Mihawk are just trapped inside a kitchen, and they did. Look at their mouth. They're just staring at the bomb. Their job is more than well done. It's very rare to see discipline like that. 25 seconds remaining, and Mihawk, you might be able to find at least the trade, but look at all the blue arrows swarming through the middle of the map over here inside of rocks to get the final kill required. Massive round coming through from the Almighty after fighting that first blood and keeping all of Skate trapped.
Yeah, a bit. I mean, you got to go back to, you know, the firing range that we saw. Skate was all over the map and really kind of, or the Hacienda. They were kind of manipulating every now and again when we had them on stream earlier today. That one, not so much. It's kind of stuck over towards pool. Not quite able to move the defense the way they want to, but how about that opening engagement? Pop Zero taking down Incendio. Little snipe off, who could get there first through mid. And now his smokes completely take over any line of sight over towards the A zone. You can see the defense are hard scoped in, but wow, they've baited out Heaven. They can't quite find the kill though, and Almighty will realize that no, this is not a full commit to A.
Yeah, Heaven just dropping down to about half HP. Now it's a 3-2 split coming through at least for Skade with this numbers advantage, but you take a look at least player number 5, Mihawk, trying to maybe challenge inside of the B-ball court. It is a blunder and a half if you try to get yourself over in that AS&D.
They know they have shot up completely isolated though on this right corner. Because if so, maybe some nades can land. This is bold. Mihawk, oh, lucky to be alive. Shots just missed. Oh, but Leozera actually does catch shut up on the rotation. So again, numbers start to go the way of Skade. The focus still towards B. It's on to Heaven. He has to hit one.
Got to respect that from Leozera, just hanging on over by Tiki, seeing if anybody tries to cross all the way through. They have taken down Heaven. Now you can start running through ring, get over towards this BS&D site. You got trophies down, got to keep them safe. Here comes the plan.
And you should be post-planning this for the backside of ring. Because you've got Leozera in the middle of the map. You know they're not hitting through pillars. Oh, great awareness. Lins, his 6th elimination. One more to grab. It's Irfan. Stuck kind of in laundry at the moment. May get nicely to 1v1, but Limbs catches him with the right timing. And Skate bring us right back to a 3-3 half.
Oh, we wouldn't have it any other way here, would we, Alan? Considering the fact that in their map number 2 on firing range, if you missed it, ended in 22 rounds, 12-10 in Almighty's favor. Earlier today, it was a 7-3, that in favor of Skade. Now on the offense, coming through for Almighty. A lot of focus over towards the pool side of things. You got one player just lurking through Zig, but a lot of forward position being taken by Skade.
Once again, I mean, this is, I love this to see on a defensive setup, because that A bomb site being pushed in towards basketball to where we're usually used to seeing it in the Cold War days, it's difficult to get into offensively. You have to spend a lot of utility just to open the door. So win the middle of the map, take over Art, force Almighty to have to play through that choke point. And so far, they've done that. The question is, do they know that they've achieved this? Because it's been dead silent for the last 30 seconds.
Yeah, we haven't heard a peep. Just waiting for the tumbleweed to come brisking across the mansion pool side, but need to be able to find some information. I wonder how much utility is still in the back pocket for some of these players.
Oh gosh, Heaven's going to try to sniff things out over towards B. Mihawk is prone right above him. Just comes down to, does he see him before Leozera gets exposed?
Oh, hit marker.
Okay, that'll be information. Mihawk has not tried to confirm the kill yet. He's just holding his position. 45 seconds on the clock, and Almighty have to now commit. Does this defense still trust the setup, or will they try to move around and maybe try to deal with this play that's coming over towards A? You have to think it's all in the Pobs era. Can he get a read on this?
You haven't seen anything much of the middle of the map. Finally, some shots will come through. Incendio will go down over by the water stairs, and there comes the reposition. It is a solo player by Papsera over here. He was playing in the wheelbarrow. Here comes the Chow. Running out of time, is able to line up two.
And it's just absolute perfection on the setup. Murfon will also drop. That is such good trust from Skate. You have to feel like any other team in that situation, game 5, to stave off elimination, you haven't heard or seen anything. For them to have the gall to sit there and say, no, our setup is good, that's next level discipline from Skate.
You had pillars control, driveway control, you had a sniper inside the wheelbarrow as well, and oh man, great opening defensive round coming through from Skate, but this time they all go for Broke. You take a look at the rotation, immediately off the spawn, they're all in for the pool side. They lose Leo Zero in the process. Very quick bomb plant coming down for Almighty.
Yeah, and Almighty is aware of this. 3 members still holding back their driveway just in case this flank comes through, which it will. First one to make contact is going to be Shut Up. Heaven clears out Zig. Shut Up does his job backside through driveway. So now the only opportunity would be Pobs trying to force something through pillars, you have to think, but instead, they are going to try to isolate these players. The back shot just a bit wide, and back and forth we go with these scopes. Pobsera able to find the kill from a 2v5 to a 2v3. 18 seconds, you've got to go. And Incendio just prone underneath the window. Good information from Jeff. Pobsera tries to force out the kill. It's not as clean as you'd like, and it's taking a lot of time, more importantly. Almighty will still skate away with the round.
If it wasn't the numbers, it was more than likely going to just be the overall pressure of the clock. Yeah, I mean, you really got to tip the understanding. When you try to go all the way across the driveway, you clear through the middle of the map, and you immediately take a look at, hey, they're still inside a laundry, and we're not being gunned through the middle of the map, so let's just commit over towards B. Now you have yourself a little bit more of a poke setup coming through for Almighty, seeing how in their head of Skate they are currently resting in.
Yeah, look at the focus off that opening pick from Shut Up, plus also taking away the money window. Defense has to stay heavy-handed over towards A, but a key gunfight for Leo Zera. He essentially has made B completely safe, leaving a little bit of space for Skate to feel okay about having this many members on the A site.
4v4. And I love this call that's coming through. You leave one more player to try to come reinforce the B zone. This is almost looking like we just swapped to complete sides entirely. You have one player lurking inside garage, and he comes through.
How does he get 2? And then Leo's in behind him.
Lost that round, but it's not
They have no business coming away with not dropping a member there. That's a 1-for-1 position. If you walk away, 2 kills for 2 kills, you're happy if you're Skade. But Mihawk says, I'll do you one better.
Defend the objective.
And now 5-4. And how about this for a curveball? Defensive nades overwhelming through driveway. It's a full flood right into Heaven's lap. And he responds to it, gets one and gets away, and look at the help. Almighty's already on rotation.
The bomb's already rotating back over, finding that first pick. The biggest question is, how many players were you able to read are over here? Liuzin's going to be able to take down Jeff Pro. It's going to force out the 3v4. Numbers that in favor of the Almighty. Heaven under pressure, still throwing some shots, but take a look at that bomb. Bomb's down over in Zig.
Yeah, but Mihawk's cleared the way. He's all the way through in kitchen. He could find a gunfight here versus Earthfront. The timing is good. Mihawk with his 8 elimination. And Heaven, who started the play for Almighty, now has to finish it. A 1v3. Doesn't check the staircase. Sees one down low, but it doesn't make a difference. It's Leosin who just holds the angle. And Skade a round away from making it into the playoffs and defeating Almighty twice on the day.
Twice on the day, indeed. Losing the fire range, search and destroy. Taking both of them in the first time that they met each other earlier today. Now it comes down to this. What are you going to throw? Almighty, the snipe through the middle of the map. Heaven's good for first blood.
Oh, but look at Mihawk through the smoke. Mihawk's through, but he does get turned away. An opportunity to possibly just end it right there. But the trade comes through in the numbers now. Stay with Almighty. Leo Zera on the way in. Tries to force the defense over the B side.
Down.
Only good for 1, and then Shut Up able to get a read with Incendio to put this all now on to Leosin. A deep play from the back. And it's being watched. Well done from Almighty.
Nice work.
Gotta keep this going. You need one more if you want to try to at least force overtime. But nonetheless, Almighty, they are throwing the adaptations. Very aggressive adaptation. Keep in mind you through Zig for that first blood. That goes awry. That opens up the floodgates for the flank inside of red. Skate. Offensively. More than obliged to get aggressive through the mid-map.
Yeah, this is, again, just instant map control. This is almost a repeat of what we had seen from a couple of rounds previously, where Skate can control B, they can control mid, and you can just watch for crosses here towards A. But Almighty taking their time. And how well are they conditioned after Skate's aggression in the last round?
I love the discipline that is still being exemplified from the Almighty. Whether they found information or not, they haven't really seen a peep, much less heard as much, if any at all, information. Almost expecting for maybe Skate to throw a shoulder, maybe capitalize off an unforced error.
Enemy in sight.
It's all up to you now. Finish the
The A
mission.
setup defensively is once again Mihawk prone, but he's got Lens with him with an SKS watching this front door. And here comes the hit. No one's watching from mid-map right here. Maybe a late flank from Leosin. There's the flashes. Lens gets swung. Mihawk again from the interior. Can't slide away this time. The trains come through. Now through the middle of the map. It's Leosin off the flank, but how about the shot from Shut Up? And it's down now to a 2v2. A site completely vacant, but the rewrap from Almighty.
Leo Zera has not budged. He's just going to move his way over towards driveway, join with his teammate of Leos, and you had the idea, but now they are going to flip out the map, thinking that it's going to be going over towards A. The offense now of both Jeff and Shut Up have moved their way towards launcher.
Almighty not feel confident.
Last man standing.
And rightfully
Finish
so,
it.
mind you. But they've got all the space in the world to get this off freely. How do you set up your post plan?
Enemy contact.
Shut Up wants to play outer ring.
Planted.
Stay on the B site.
Enemy
A
contact.
couple of nades are available. Shut Up, I believe, seen by Leo Zera, but that information, I have to imagine, was seen by Shut Up. There we go. Now the top of the head's been scouted out. And Leo Zera, enemy inside. This is bald. Shut Up, holds the angle. Here comes Leo's in.
Next round.
They get forward. 20 seconds on the clock. Shut Up needs to hit one. Backs away. They're trying to play the clock. 13 seconds. Here comes Skate. Leo Zero for the first.
Destroy
Shut Up
the
to the
objective.
pistol. That's all he's got
We have
left.
the
Hits the
bomb.
first. 1v1.
Finish it.
Shut Up to stay alive. And he's killed off enough of the clock. Plus finishing it with the pistol. Let's go to overtime.
2 rounds quickly
Lost the
bouncing back. Please guarantee yourself that overtime. And yeah, I love that call. Again, you know, it wasn't an immediate, we got ourselves some numbers, let's just try to fly and quickly rotate all the way over towards the B site. Clear it out. You don't know if anybody's still lurking over inside of red. And now an offensive round coming through here for Skate.
Opening first blood for Pop Zero. That's over. Actually, that's through the cutout.
Enemy contact.
Through the top side of A. That's from Mihawk of all players. Incendio feeling frisky, takes away an angle. Look at the rewrap again. Skate all focused on heading over towards B.
Bomb
The defense is
acquired.
not here in any form. They're going to have to play
Enemy in
retake.
sight.
It's the right call, and they're actually going to be splitting their
Contact with
odds and
enemy.
numbers. One player, Incendio, is going to be watching through open staircase through pillars. The other 2 players, both Jeff and Ifrin, are trying to get back over
Lost
through
that
laundry.
round.
There's
It's
not a
not
whole
over
lot
yet.
of coverage in that
Ready
position
up.
yet. They could get some good timing.
These 1v1s are everything. First shots able to come out, but no Pop Zero doesn't finish the kill. It's Jeff who saves a life. Irfan lucky to still be
Defend the
alive.
objectives.
Lynn's trying to come back to
have
assist.
the
Good
ball.
long-range shots. One more close by. How about that from Lens? All 3 kills come through in consecutive fashion, and once again it's Skade on series point.
And just recognizing what is just opportunistic for them in the time. Get themselves the numbers. They start clearing away through ring.
The enemy has the
And
bomb.
making
Enemy
sure that
in
they
sight.
zone away the one position that can blow up that's inside of laundry. And look at how they're still getting aggressive through the middle of the
my.
map.
All the nades that are coming out to the offensive side. We have to respond to this through pillars. Leo's in, not able to get the opening first blood. Back and forth. Both teams still feeling each other out. And how about Mihawk aggression? Shut down by J-Pro. Incendio behind it. Panzera still on the angle. Can watch this cross. But Jeff has made his way on. He can stick this for the plant. There's good help behind him.
His enemy has dropped the bomb. Nice work.
You're gonna have
Ready
to
for
wait
the next round.
Look at number 2. Lens trying to rotate all the way back over by driveway. It's going to be watched. Panzera needs to land a shot.
Have to get
Defend
somebody
the
in.
objective.
Lynn's been red. Flank is very well
The
watched.
enemy
Lynn's
has
has to
the bomb.
find a beautiful double. He gets the opener. Oh, but Leo's in. Oh. I'm not sure how he just fell off the map, but it doesn't make much of a difference. It's a response from Almighty. And once again, we reset to see who can take it by 2.
Honestly, how can you even be surprised? I mean, last time there had to have been some time there where you had some VOD to go look at if you are Almighty. You did lose it, so 7 to something abysmal, but yeah, now tied up 7 apiece here. Skate, another offense. They are going for broke. Quick hit towards that.
Down shot. He's the only one that can respond to this, and he gets completely flashed out.
It's not over yet.
Not a lot of support
Ready
there.
up.
Jetro, fortunate to be able to at least secure a trade from that angle. The defense scrambling to come over, but the bomb's gonna be planted here at A. Oh.
Defend the objectives.
He's gonna be able to fish out some timing to be able to come down through open staircase. And the nade that did come through over through the basketball court is going to keep the offense of Skate rather honest.
Let's go plan.
Enemy down.
Pabzera takes the mantle, gets it planted.
Targets his shot.
This is the best chance for Skate to possibly find a kill and make this a true 3v3. No aggression at all from Almighty. They are waiting, looking for the team shots over the top. Pabzera, Leo's in, nearby. B-Hawk deep in towards Tiki. Heaven is still not here yet. This is taking a ton of time. Nade's now coming through. Pabzera avoids the majority of it. Opening shots come through. Leo's in for 2. Maybe a chance. B-Hawk staying prone. Has Heaven on the flank, swimming around.
Target down.
15 seconds. Smoke comes through. The shot's through the smoke, but no, Incendio responds with some of his own. And now it's Almighty to the advantage.
Almighty will take that advantage here in the overtime. And hey, say what you will, just taking your time, making sure that you clear away all of the top bedroom. That's exactly what Heaven needed to do. Albeit taking a certain amount of time, it was just bait. All the upper spiral staircase, throwing shots, trying to make sure that it was all focused on towards the front. Spidey senses aside. Almighty here on offense. The potential to knock Skate out.
Quick route from Irfan. He's already into Tiki. This is not just deep, but take a look at the defensive setup. This is going to feel very familiar. It's Linz and Leozen who initially were stacked up here over towards A, but 2 trophies down. Call is made that Linz is saying, I can hold this myself. Fine mid.
We'll get him next time.
Almighty are going to respect that. There could be some very tricky setups here over towards the state side. They're going to take their time and feel things out.
No reason to get over aggressive here. Not a whole lot of information to speak of, but we have seen this before with a friend just playing in that position inside of Tiki, seeing if anybody chows out through basketball court, but they're going to re-wrap this through mid.
This is going to be a kitchen hit. Smoke to block pillars. Pabzera, he's aware of it. Comes over and finds a key pick that's on the bomb carrier. This is going to take time, and Leozera from pillars. Not allowing Incendio to recover. Gets another on top of it. And Skade looking comfortable in this defense, but it's not done just as of yet. Last one to get is Shut Up, who has been so good for his team thus far. But this would take the cake.
Hey, remember what I was saying earlier? The Deagle, it might just be the best sub in the game, especially in the hands of Shut Up. We'll find one. You got 36 seconds left to go. The biggest issue, you have to work your way across mid, and there's so many angles you have to be worried about. The one saving grace, though, 3 players stacked up together. I thought that they were just going to go through laundry, but nobody sees anybody. Bomb's going to be recovered. You would assume that Shut Up's going to go back through open staircase and try to get over towards A, but now they're on his heels.
He's just so slow.
Not exactly smooth.
Not quite.
Headquarters.
Yeah, easy follow-up there. Good reaction out of Skate.
Run it back.
Do it again.
Capture each HQ as it comes online.
Why not?
Stand by for the next location.
Can't necessarily say that you're going to be too surprised. I mean, there's going to be so many different
Defend the
strategies and so many different
objectives.
opportunities.
HQ located. Secure it.
Again, finding success. Here comes more aggression coming through from Skate. 3 players going through P5, but 3 players defensively from Almighty going through Ring.
Yeah, this is bold again. Heaven with a sniper rifle, the furthest defensive player forward. Nades have come
HQ
through.
online. Secure. You're at the HQ. Stand by.
Almighty, who took a gamble to not throw anybody over towards A. We're going to get away with it for now, but look at the full play. Here comes the pillars. Incendio good for the opener. Still more to find, though. Trades back and forth. Pinstruck goes to kill feed. Heaven still involved. How is Heaven still alive for crying out loud? It's just a sniper pistol combo. He gets away with the kill and his life. Leo's there, though, for the 1v2. First option. Heaven makes his position known. Long range. Finds Shut Up!
Showing up when it matters the most there, when it was a very usable situation. Leozera absolutely delivers the goods. Going to be able to put themselves in a position now, 1 round away for Skate to knock out Almighty. And how about another facet? It worked out pretty well last time.
Oh, but this time Almighty, they get
HQ
the isolation
online.
of the Pabzera. The
Secure it.
defense rapidly making their way over. Flashes, trophies, nades, all of it being thrown. Almighty want to get this bomb down. Heaven follows up in a
We're
second.
at the HQ.
Trying to hit off the front.
Stand by.
Everything now it has to come from the front. Mihawk on the way in. No one's seen Mihawk, but he only gets away with the first. Leo's in. And he find a way to get in bounds here. All of Almighty is stacked up towards the outside. Do they have an angle at this bomb? Do they trust the shoulders? And it looks like at the moment they do have a pretty solid angle at it. Yeah, shot up deep. Sure, why not? The double from him. 9-9.
Run it back again. Why not? Just adaptation after adaptation. Digging deep into the bag of splits.
Enemies are capturing the
Hey,
HQ for the next wave.
Just 5-player hit for sports basketball? Well, absolutely. And now it is Skate's turn again offensively. We saw this
Enemy
legitimately
destroyed
the
the
last
HQ.
offensive round.
Yeah.
3 players strong through mid.
It's almost the exact same setup for both teams.
Yeah.
Yeah, this time though, Heaven's not going to get away with it. Irfan up top needs to find a trade. Shut down Incendio can do
HQ
nothing.
located.
Irfan still
Secure it.
finessing his life, but it's only for a small time. Kills come out convincingly for Skade. Last player left alive is Bro. He's quick, trying to contest the exit. Gets Leo's in over the top, but maybe not. Maybe Leo's got the better of him over the top.
HQ
Clean shots come
online.
through. Once
Secure
again, Skade to the advantage.
Map number 2, it took us to reach round 20 before one team ended up running away with 2
We're at
rounds
the
in a row.
HQ. Stand by.
To honestly say that it might not be the same. Little Zera, 15 eliminations. Mihawk, 18. You would think that it's going to be 5 players strong. The biggest difference, though, Heaven is
We're at
lurking
the
him in.
HQ.
Oh, Lynch is
Stand
committed
by.
to the bomb site here. This is tough. You're going to have sniper rifles looking you down your throat, essentially. Flashes do connect, but the help over mid is looking good for Skate. They create a little bit of space. Help is on the way as well. Mihawk will join his compatriot. Pabzera.
Enemies have captured the
mid.
HQ.
And Almighty, they're trying to get out of here. They're trying to get back through mid, but there's numbers here for Skate. The 2 kills come through. It's down to a 2v5. Irfan is stuck too. He's got nowhere to go. He's got to force a play somewhere. Mid's not an option.
Needs to wait. Bomb gets collected
We're
by
at the
Jeff.
HQ.
Trying to work
Stand
their way
by.
through Zig. There is no information whatsoever, Alan. These shoulders might just mean death. You see player number 4 on the minimap. A friend
We have
trying to burst
destroyed
way
the
through the open
HQ.
staircase, and Skate more than aware of the advantage they have.
Pabzera tagged up. Fly shell on the Jeff. Doesn't quite work out. Could have been the dagger.
HQ located.
But Almighty's
Secure it.
still alive. Pabzera nades come out. Irfan sidesteps. Leo's in nearby. You have to be very careful here. If you're Almighty, you really want to come in here. Yeah, they sure do. Forcing the play forward. Jeff, last one left. Gets the second. Can he get the reset?
online.
He's got the
Secure it.
boxing gloves out. He's Mike Tyson in the flesh. And he's not able to get through. And Skade upset not once,
Secure
but
the
twice
HQ.
to send the second team from Latin America to the World Championship playoffs.
The pop-off on stage
Enemies are
absolutely
capturing the
erupted.
HQ
Our
for the next
casting
wave.
booth is going buck wild crazy. Insane scenes when you think about it.
Enemies
I
are
really
capturing the
feel
HQ.
that the way that we saw that firing range develop itself, Alan, that it might have ended up being the same, that the VOD, the quick turnover that Almighty had to be able to learn
HQ
from
located.
their mistakes
Secure
in
it.
previous past was going to be good enough, but not against the tenacity of this Skate roster, the passion, everything just being exemplified to such a high degree. Good job today, gentlemen, but you have a long
HQ
night's rest ahead
online.
of you because
Secure
it
it.
only gets more difficult from here.
Unbelievable. And you know, the thing about it is, when we were setting everything up, the one thing we really gave credit to LATAM was if they got to game 5s, out of every other region, they had the most experience playing in game 5s. To have to clutch up to make it into the top 3 for Latin America, to make it even as the champions of Latin America in Inco's situation, but the elation,
We're at the HQ.
no
Stand
words
by.
for it, as Brazil now has 2 teams in the playoffs. Golly.
Oh man, it's just amazing. Everybody elated. There was a collective pop-off through the front row of both the stage and the crowd. Absolutely insane scenes. Congratulations for not just the once, like you were saying, but twice to take down Almighty in a map 5 situation. Comfort zone for sure.
And with that, we go from 16 to our top 8. The Nets standing by to give us the bracket and their reactions.
Reinforcements unavailable.
Thank you
Hold
very
for the
much,
next
guys.
wave.
Great
Enemies
job
are capturing
closing
the
things
HQ.
out. We thought that
Only you guys would get quick 3-0s, but no, you get some free COD mobile, especially there at the end where it was elimination time, 2 maps to 2, and we went almost a whole another 7 maps, or 7 rounds there in that final search and destroy. But in the end, it's Skade outlasting the #1 seed from Southeast Asia, and that is all she wrote for them. But I want to get some quick thoughts here.
Well, what I wrote in my script before heading into this was Almighty was definitely going to go into the playoffs, but hey, the reason why we are at LAN is to prove to one another that, hey, whatever we had before, that's not going to matter. And what we have for today, this is definitely greatness. Last time really just proves that they love them game 5s.
Yeah, no question about it. For me, that's the biggest upset. Well, I don't know. We got Scars coming through as well. There was a lot of chaos today, and the predictions were definitely all over the place. Like we were talking about beforehand, if we were talking S-tier teams, we thought that there were 4, and 2 of them were Q9 and Almighty, already knocked out of the competition. Has proven to be incredibly unpredictable so far, and should make fantastically.
Let's take a look at that playoffs by looking at our champs bracket brought to you by Republic of Gamers. It's Smart Omega against Skade, Tribe versus Wolves, Inko Stalwart versus Scars, and Luminosity taking on Stamina Esports. Again, 2 of the 4 that we thought were going to be there, not necessarily there. Skade, welcome to the party. They definitely earned it and deserved it by not winning once, but twice against Almighty. And then Scars outlasting Q9. Remember that was a series? We did that before we got drug into one of the best, I guess, like now rivalries in COD Mobile in the global scene. Scars getting it done strategically. Okay, they find strategic kills. They don't find a lot of kills.
HQ online. Secure it.
Kills. When we take a look at this bracket, what's your exciting matchup here?
Stand by.
I'm going for Smart Omega against Skade. It looks like Skade wants to bring down every single one of the arena teams, and now we get to see it possibly in our quarterfinals one where Smart Omega, they've seen it, they've watched it, and see how Skade absolutely just spams out the SKS. Probably one of the best displays of this gun so far.
Reinforcements unavailable. Hold for the next wave.
We knew that a lot of teams said they've been tough to play against, and we're seeing exactly why right now. Obviously, the Western team's really showing out 5 of the 8 teams in our playoffs from the West. So it seems like both North America and Latin America have represented well. They're the only 2 regions with 2 teams in the playoffs. We'll see if they can carry through all the way up against those Eastern rosters.
All right, well, let's take a look at the tournament schedule. We had a long day of group stage matches today. On Thursday, tomorrow, it's a short break because Saturday, we're coming back with the champs and the Olymp bracket. And then we have the big bad finals where we will be crowning our world champion. And Friday, got a little bit of time off because we've got the Code Bowl. That's right, the Call of Duty Endowment Bowl with some of the esports squads from the military helping out, raising money to give back to veterans. It is a great, great cause, and we'll be seeing some of those squads playing tomorrow, which means we'll be taking a short break, but we're back Saturday. And I'm just so excited to see, again, these squads. NA, Luminosity, they went in so smooth. It looked great, but will they be pushed? I guess we'll find out next Saturday. And of course, if you haven't had enough Call of Duty yet, CDL still going on right now. So head on over to their channel over on YouTube. Guys, thank you so much for watching throughout. Give the shout outs to our casters who've been doing it all day long, and to your favorite teams, whether they won, whether they lost, go support them. We will be back Saturday as we move through the champs bracket and the Elim bracket and get one step closer to crowning ourselves the best team in Call of Duty Mobile in 2022. On behalf of myself, the staff, and the entire broadcast crew, thank you so much for watching. We'll see you Saturday.
We lost the lead.
Sniper.
I got shot!
Get down, sniper. Sniper eliminated. Sniper down. Sniper eliminated. Sniper. Sniper down.
I got shot!
Sniper down.
Sniper eliminated.
It's too close. Fight harder. We've taken the lead. Tied for the lead. We've taken the lead.
Sniper eliminated. Sniper.
It's too close. Fight harder. We've taken the lead.
Sniper down.
Get down, sniper! Sniper eliminated. Reloading, cover me.
We tied for the lead.
Sniper. Sniper down.
Sentry gun ready for deployment.
Get down, sniper!
Airstrike is ready.
Changing mag.
Pick it up, team.
Sniper.
Heads up, team. Enemy UAV spotted.
Sniper down.
Get down, sniper! I'm hurt!
Get down, sniper.
Sniper.
Sniper eliminated.
I got shot! Get down, sniper!
Sniper! Defeated. Don't let this happen again. sniper only.
Get down, sniper.
It's too close. Fight harder.
Get down.
We tied for the lead.
Sniper. Get down, sniper. Sniper eliminated.
Close. Fight harder.
Sniper.
We lost the lead.
Sniper eliminated. Sniper down. Get down, sniper.
Sniper.
We tied for the lead.
Sniper.
It's too close. Fight harder.
Get down, sniper.
We've taken the lead. We tied for the lead.
Sniper. Get down, sniper. Sniper eliminated.
Objective almost complete. Keep it up.
Sniper down. Change. Sniper eliminated. Sniper.
Sniper! Mission accomplished. Good work.